has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome in, Detroit Lions fans. It is the Woodward Sports. Well, it's the first post-game of
is it a
year
post-game or a
number
funeral?
5. You know, it is a funeral. I'm looking at some things here. KG said this show's going to be easy. It's damage control. The brown bags are out.
Oh, you know it.
Fire Johnny Moe.
Oh, you know it.
Run the reel. All of the Lions fans, the Fairweather Lions fans, they're out the fucking door right now, KG. It's the rest of us. But hey, I gotta say, somebody owes me $7.
Sir, I do owe you $7.
$7.
And as much as it pains me to hand this over to you.
That's right. I told you all this was going to happen last week. And as much as I told you this, I didn't want to be right. But here I am, $7 richer. My name is Anson Wells. I'm joined by KG here for the Lions post game. We're live from Second Best Bar down in Detroit. And we're joined by our TD today, Justin, and I don't want to see you on camera without the cheese on your head, young man.
You hear this guy?
No, that's not happening because I told you to bring the real thing.
I told
you to bring the real thing.
Listen, you're a man of your word.
I'm a man of my word.
You're a man of your word.
You did say a
the
physical
cheese.
cheese.
Yeah, well, he said. No, man,
we
where's
off
the
to a
cheese
great
head,
start
man?
already.
The guy that has it is at Lambeau right now. Shout out Nicky Boom, one of Detroit's top DJs. Listen, Justin, you are a man of your damn word. You will put that cheese on your head for the entirety of this show, and you will hate it. I will hate it. He will hate it. Whoever bet you and won is going to love it. But you put that shit on my head last week, and by golly, you're going to wear it today. But listen.
I'll let Chad decide. This is a chat show.
Chad already. Don't make me message Chad, all right?
Chad.
No, chat. Not Chad. No.
I was about to say, whoa.
Chad, you guys were here last week, all right? Young Justin
The bet
made
was
a bet.
physical cheesehead, though.
I thought it was physical.
The bet was physical cheesehead. That's why Chad gets to
and
decide.
you said you had a friend that had one.
And I did, and I tracked him down, but he had already left for his homeland of Wisconsin. He is a diehard cheesehead. He had the cheese block, took it with him. I couldn't even borrow it. I was hoping I wouldn't have to bring it. Halfway on the way down here, I called him again. I was like, "Are you sure you made it?" And I could hear him from Lambeau with all the damn cheers of all those damn cheese heads getting all excited because KG, the Lions looked lifeless today. They've been rusty coming out the last couple of years because we don't see them in the preseason. This team did not show up today. In fact, they were gritless.
Damn, gritless, that's where we going already, man.
Tell me they weren't. Tell me they weren't.
First and foremost, I don't know if I should put the suicide prevention hotline for the people in the chat because I see a lot of y'all in here. And listen, I get it, man. We all wanted to see the Lions come out and look a lot better than what they did, but they got the ass whooped. I don't know how else to put that. They got outclassed, and this was they didn't look right from the beginning of this game to the end of this game.
Well, I'll tell you who's getting their ass whooped. It's Justin.
Yeah,
it's Justin in the chat. He put up a poll,
You should make him
and he's getting his ass whooped right now. I think it's at about 69%. He's got to put that cheese up. I don't want to see you on there until that damn cheese goes up. Shout out, Bird.
I'm putting it on, but take the cheese off my fucking head. Yeah, no, I'll be taking it off after a couple segments here.
You're going to have work for an hour.
Yeah,
at least we're here for 2 hours.
Because I don't bitch about it like you.
We're here for 2 hours. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We're over 1,000 strong for the post-game show. Shout out to Second Best. Shout out to the bartender who hooked me up after I had my chicken sandwich stolen. He didn't forget about me. He saw me. I was wearing the emotion of this game. I was wearing the emotion of no chicken sandwich. But my man at the bar hooked it up. It's going to sit here for 2 hours, but I'm going to enjoy it afterwards. Shout out Lady Jane's right here. Shout out to Sun Cruisers, all of our sponsors, Ven Johnson Law, Planet Fitness.
All
and
right,
shout out to our chat.
There's the cheese head.
There you go.
I hope everyone's happy.
All right, I'm on the delay, but I'm looking for. Listen, young man, I didn't want to see it. Shout out to Justin and Brendan who made it happen today down here. They really scrambled and brought it all together for an awesome program here. We did the watch party here, obviously the post game here. You can come down and join us for that pregame Lions show party every home game for the rest of the year. Make sure you're at second damn best.
Yes, sir.
But listen, I didn't want to be right, but at the same time, as bad as the Lions look today, there's no reason to get crazy. I'm seeing these chats in my fantasy group threads, my friend base, my Lions fans,
it's gonna
faithful.
Be a long week.
I'm seeing the yes, it's gonna be very long. I'm seeing these paper bags. I'm seeing people saying that they only see 7 wins on the schedule. I mean, the window's not even open anymore, KG.
Jeez, man.
The Lions fans in this town, they're so fucking fair weather, and I'm sorry, that's my second F-bomb. You're probably going to get 4 or 5 more from me during this program. But listen, we realize who the bandwagon fans are.
Yeah.
The suburban new money Lions fans that spent $700 on jerseys and coats for their kids at Christmas. They left early, and they might not even be back next week, but we know better. Okay?
No, of course.
This is a new offensive coordinator. This is a new defensive coordinator. They were gritless through most of this game. They didn't seize opportunities. There weren't many, but there were some. In fact, we had a touchdown that would have completely changed the landscape of this game. And we'll start off there because, to me, it wasn't. Again, there weren't many. There weren't a lot of them. But there were opportunities in this game where the Lions could have turned things in their direction. And instead, they get a penalty on a crucial pick 6 by the Honey Brancher, Brian Branch, that again would have turned the tide in the end of the third quarter there and really made this a one-score game, put everything in a different hemisphere for the Lions. But instead, those mistakes, those non-seized opportunities, the lack of a absolutely fired up defense, an offense that looked lost all game long. That is what we started the season off with, KG. And hey, there's a lot of long-time Lion fans, a lot of SOL guys out there,
sir.
Myself included. Now, I think that this team's fine. I think we'll be in the Super Bowl. But the SOL talk, it's going to dominate this week.
I mean, we got to be real about it. For anybody that had concerns about the coordinator situation, this game did you no favors. For anybody that had concerns about the pass rush, because of course you did, this game didn't do you any favors. For anybody that had questions about the interior of the offensive line, this game did not answer any of those questions. And a loss to the Packers, we didn't think it would happen, but we said, okay, the Packers, they have a sliver of a chance. They might be able to do something against the Lions, but nobody saw this type of domination coming. And it seemed like once the Packers figured out that, okay, we're just going to keep pressuring these young guys in the middle. We're going to keep sending pressure after Jared Goff. He became unraveled. The run game stalled, and it just got uglier and uglier as this game went on. The defense had opportunities, but undisciplined play, like you said, from the beginning of this game with the Brian Branch, I mean, the Tesla holding, there was so many penalties early on that set this team back, and they just never seemed to be able to get into a rhythm. Now, my question to you, and we're going to talk about this endlessly all week long, a lot of people are putting this on John Morton. Is this more on John Morton, or is this more on the players from an offensive standpoint?
How many points did the Packers score? They scored 27, right? It's on both damn sides of the ball right now.
Oh, for
Period.
sure.
And before we get into the stats, because we talked about Tesla, we talked about a few different things here, and we'll get into that. But first, I want to hit some of those super chats here. First one in, Brett Larrabee. He had nothing to say.
Right.
He had nothing
I got
to say.
nothing.
He said he's good.
He's giving her all she's got, Captain.
So we got Kenny Powers in here next week. Just became a must-win game. Freight Train J, we're good. No sacks. Time to call Frank, says Michigander 12-12. Whatever it takes to get him. By the way, I'm going to out 12-12 because I'm not in a good mood.
Yeah, okay.
You know who that is?
Who? Oh, Mason Leach?
It is.
Damn.
You've been outed, my friend.
Again,
You're lucky.
man.
Stick is not with us, but he will know one day who
Stop
you are,
making
my
the
friend.
burners, cuz. Just pay the money.
At the same time, my friend, we do love your support, and I hope that you enjoyed that prize package we sent out to you some months ago. Burn, $5 in the chat. Packers, you kicked our ass. Game, see you Thanksgiving, but we spiritually won with that Tesla TD.
Did we?
Laugh out loud. I'm not going to agree with that one.
Absolutely not.
No, we certainly did not, Justin.
Although it was Odell Beckham Part 2 damn near. Like, I will give him that, but yeah, come on. This is a garbage touchdown.
And he says he talked the sheet, S-H-E-E-T, so I'm holding on to my cuss words still. I'm only using 2. I got a mea culpa. We all have to mea culpa right now.
Yeah.
Because we all came in riding such a wave of confidence. And in fact, if you're a Michigan fan for their football team, and if you're a Lions fan for their football team, we got a heavy dose of reality here. Listen, there's a rookie quarterback running things in Ann Arbor, and this team here in Detroit has a brand new offensive coordinator and a brand new defensive coordinator. And I think that those two showed so clearly, it was so transparent that this team right now, even though they have all the players, all the talent, up and down, a roster that can compete with anybody here, they're still looking for their identity. And you ask me, which side of the ball? It's both sides of the ball right now.
For sure.
Audrey Pleasant and Johnny Morton have to figure things out, and they have to figure out quick, because as somebody here just said with a super chat, Kenny Powers is right. Next week is an absolute must-win now.
I don't want to go there, bro.
Well, you better go there.
Listen. It's week 1. You don't want to drop 2 division games out the gate. I will say that. So kind of lends credence to what you're saying, but you said the Lions have no identity. Come on, bro. We know what the identity is.
What was their identity on
football
offense
team.
today? What was it? Running the ball?
They have an identity. The Packers
There
just
was
did
no
a damn
identity.
good job.
Thank you, Justin. What was the identity?
There was no identity.
There was nothing. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't stop the pass.
That doesn't mean they don't have one.
Okay, well,
they have one
today.
The Packers shut it down. If you let me get to it, the Packers shut all that shit down. But I'm not going into it's a must win and all that. Listen, obviously next week at home, Ben Johnson coming back to Ford Field. This is going to be a big game, and they're going to need to put up. You can't look like you did today next week. But I'm not worried about this team, bro. This is a 15-win team from last year. They did not show that today. I will give you that. They did not show that today. But overall, it's going to be an adjustment. There's going to be a little bit of things they have to work out between just the rhythm on offense and the coordinator communication of the plays to the players. And the same thing on defense. But overall, the players got to play. And I think that this is more so on the players, man. They had no life whatsoever today. You had chances in this game to make plays, to take control of this game, or at least stop the bleeding at certain points. They didn't get that done. So I would challenge the players a little bit more next week. In terms of the coordinators, it's going to be a process. It's going to be a whole year-long process. They're going to get it together. But I'm not worried about this team in any way, shape, or form until further notice. You put out more duds like this, then I'm with you.
All right, I'm going to go back to the super chat, and then I'm coming to Justin. A, I want to see the cheese on that head. And B,
it already is on.
I know he agrees with me, and I need him to double down. KG, I love you, but you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong right now. Burn, $5. Defense looked fine after they settled down. Offense put them in terrible spots. Did Gibbs and Monty even play? I didn't see them. Natty Daddy, why don't Trump release the list? Not sure if that's football related.
Yeah, right.
JG gets a helmet to the face in the divisional and no flag, but Jordan Love gets pushed and refs throw the kitchen sink at Hutch. Shaking my head. Bishop, we got to Love twice, almost 2 picks. Get home. You know what almost counts in? Horseshoes and damn hand grenades, Bishop. Yeah. Everyone forgets we have Aiden, says Brad. No rush, says Antonio D. Donnie, 1001. Morton saw the pass rush, the failing O-line, and called trash routes all night. When did you see the wide receivers on your TV? Never, because they ran deep, no adjustments, and Kenny Powers again with the super chat. Two players we clearly needed, but we let them walk. 1-year deals only, worth up to $9 million. Zeitler, Smith, but we're good. So my thing is this: we've got our fan base already divided.
Right.
Half of them are on base still. Half of them are ready to go home. Justin, I'm coming to you. You agree there was absolutely no identity on either side of the ball. Can this team establish an identity? Can either one of these new offensive coordinators establish an identity going into a must-win game 2?
I don't know if it will be as quickly as next week. Before I crash out for the remaining of the episode, I'm going to stay calm in one regard, and I'm just going to say that the Eagles were 2-2 going into their bye last year, and then they ended up only losing one game from there, including their entire playoff run and winning the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to completely freak out and say that I don't believe this team is still Super Bowl caliber. There is a lot of concern on this roster right now, and I think it's fair if you have some issues with the play calling, the pass rush, both sides of the coordinating. I'm completely with you. There is a vast amount of concerns. There was no identity for this team today. I agree with Anson, and for the rest of the episode, I'm probably going to get pretty pissed off when I talk about the remainder of all these things in depth, because I truly have a big issue with how the Lions played. This was not Lions football. There was no grit out there today. They got absolutely dominated on the line of scrimmage, which is something I have not said about this Lions team since the Ravens in 2023.
Long time.
This is utterly ridiculous for a Dan Campbell-led team, and we'll get more into it in a second, because I know that we're going to go through all the ins and outs of this topic. But for the rest of the episode, while I proceed to crash out about this team, I'm going to take the cheese head off because I already wore it longer than I put it on Anson's head. So.
You've done enough.
I really think it should be an hour, but shout out to Sun Cruiser, making your crash out easier since 2019.
I'm on number 3. Yeah, so gonna need a lot of them.
All right, so he said it well. All right, now, by no means do I think that the sky is falling here, KG. I look at this.
You sure about that?
I am. Okay. I am. I think that the talent on this roster is undeniable. I think that there was glimpses of this team and what they've been in the past. I told you, and I told all of our listeners, that this team was going to be laid out of the gates, period. All right? There's a lot of factors that are going against them. One, they don't play in the preseason. All these other teams, even if it's just one quarter, they get a chance to knock that rust off. Lions didn't. But it's different rust. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got a new defensive coordinator. Ad nauseum. I know we talk about it all the time, but you saw it rear its head today, all right? They're going to go back to Allen Park. They're going to make the adjustments. They're going to be back home at Ford Field, and they're going to understand the things that they need to adjust in order to be successful on both sides of the ball. The problem for me, though, is if they start slow again, and if they don't bring the grit, because it's one thing to not execute. It's another thing to look as lifeless and gritless as they did today. It's something that Dan Campbell is going to have to adjust, and he's going to have to address, because you have Aaron Glenn before, and you know he wasn't dealing with this kind of garbage.
Right.
He was going to set that defense straight. And you know there's somebody over in Chicago that's playing tomorrow night, Benedict Johnson, that's watching and probably snickering, because he's looking at this offense. He's looking at all the horses we have here, and we couldn't get him going at all. So as much as we put 27 points up on the board, or we allowed 27 points on the board,
they did, for sure.
This is a game that if the Lions offense is operating at maximum, the way we've seen in the past, there's no reason we can't win this on the road 30-27. But we scored 13 points.
They got dominated in the trenches. I think that's the biggest part of this, because I know a lot of people want to blame Goff. Goff sucks, you know, the whole bit, but he had no time in that pocket. And once the Packers figured out that, hey, we're just going to send 7 at him all game, and he has to beat us with his arm, it was pretty much over from there. The Lions got into a situation where they couldn't utilize the run game, especially in the second half. You took the run game out of it. So you got what you got. We all know Goff is not a good quarterback under pressure. We all know fighting from behind is not his strong suit. Not saying that he can't do it, but it's not his strong suit. And it just did not come together today. And I do wonder who it is actually more on. I think both sides absolutely deserve blame, but I want to go ahead and just say the players, because the mental mistakes early cost this team. No energy cost this team. You got a couple points in this game where you had longer drives, but you only materialized 3 points out of those drives. Those type of things kill you in an environment like Lambeau Field. So I just, going forward, they absolutely need to figure it out on offense, but all the dogs are still here. You still have all the same pieces, minus, a couple on the offensive line, all the same pieces from last year. These guys know they got their ass kicked today, and I would expect them to come out with all type of fire next week. They absolutely have to. It's imperative.
I'm just watching the chat click by here. Over 1,300 live in the chat. Shout out everybody. If you want to get your comment read, super chat it in, $2 or more, and we will jump you to the head of the line. I mean, I'm seeing it all. They're all having an issue with our offensive line. And the fact is the youth and inexperience of our interior line was absolutely exposed today. They have to get better, KG.
No, and they're going to be a target all year long. So, hey, if today you felt down in the dumps about what the hell happened, you better get right, because teams are going to target that. They think that's a weakness of the Lions. They have to turn it into a strength. And while I do feel like over time they will get better as it goes along, it's going to be a process. And they're going to have to contend with multiple guys, mostly linebackers, shooting up those gaps, and they have to be able to stop them. So the plan for, trying to stop the blitz today was null and void. Like, the Packers did what the hell they wanted to at will. Shout out to the Sean Baligan show, F at will, as we normally say. They got what they wanted, man, and you cannot have that, especially against a Bears front coming in here next week. They're going to be hungry. They're going to want to get after it. And if they think they can exploit the middle of that offensive line, that's going to put Jared Goff in dire straits a lot of games, man. So that is something that needs to get shored up. I would say that's probably number one on the priority list. The offensive line has to be better. Those young guys have to be better. And conversely, the veterans, man, you got to try and do as much as you can to make sure that not only the young guys are doing what they're supposed to do, but you guys have to step up as well. Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell, I'm putting it on all those guys. Graham Glasgow. As a whole, this offensive line collectively needs to come together next week, and they need to show some fire.
Evan Foster in the chat. None of our draft picks this year are good enough. I don't recall saying Tyleek's name. I don't recall being excited over the guy in the middle, Tate Ratledge, the guy that we thought we were going to be leaning on in the middle of that line.
Guess what? I don't recall judging rookies on one game either. It's week one.
There you go, KG.
No doubt. Now we got a poll here, and that's going to go directly to your question. Are you concerned about next week with the Bears, who we haven't seen yet? They play tomorrow night.
I want to take a temperature check of the chat here, see how they're feeling.
Yeah, they look real cold, my friend.
Yeah.
They look real cold, 34%.
I'm going to go look up the line for the game next week.
I am not concerned about the Bears.
I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to say best case scenario, but I think this is the kick in the you-know-what that the Lions may have needed. And for the Bears next week, y'all better come ready, because Ford Field is going to be rocking. I've said it, these past couple weeks. You thought Matt Stafford was bad, getting booed here, and his children got booed, quote, quote. Ben Johnson's going to get a lashing from this Ford Field crowd. It's going to be a sold-out environment, and this team is going to be pissed off. So I think that the Lions have everything going for them in terms of going into next week, especially with a Bears team in Ben Johnson who seemed to have struggled throughout the preseason and training camp, trying to get that offense, to look good on the field with Caleb Williams running it. So.
And to update you on the line is 4.5. The Lions are still favored at home. But if you're going off what Vegas rules are, that means that Vegas only believes the Lions are a 1.5-point favorite versus the Bears, because home field often counts as 3 points. So that's what they think of your Detroit Lions, is that they're only a 1.5-point better team than the Chicago Bears.
So pick them.
Well, where I sit with the Chicago Bears, I'm not too concerned. I do believe that line will change. We'll probably see it come down to about 3.5.
Tomorrow night's going to tell us a lot.
And hey, we look at these draft picks, and we've been spoiled over the last few years in Detroit here, because immediately we've seen them pay dividends. We saw Isaac Tesla catch a touchdown.
We did.
A hell of a one-handed catch in the corner, and I think that is just a glimpse of the many things to come for many years from that young guy. But Evan was right. The guys that were supposed to impact the biggest and most important aspect of the game, which is the trenches. We got one guy, Tyleek Williams, on the defensive side, Tate Ratledge on the offensive side. Neither guy's name was called in a positive manner today, and I think that loss of Frank Ragnow to retirement, it's exacerbated, and it's big and bright in neon right now. Hey, your Pro Bowl interior, both him and Zeitler, they're gone, and we're going to take advantage of it.
And through one game, like I said earlier, you got no real answers to the question of how different is this offensive line without, those guys that you mentioned. And so far, it hasn't looked good. And these young guys, I'm not, I felt like in run protection, they're going to be fine. It's all about pass pro. Like, the pass protection, and it's funny you brought up the Michigan game earlier, because this game and that Michigan game are damn near parallels to each other. The offensive line and those young guys, man, they have to come a lot better next week, because if you do not, they are going to have a long day dealing with 7, 8, in the box, a lot of drives, man, and they have to have some type of plan to be able to prepare for the blitz, because if not, man, it's going to be a weakness that the Lions are going to have all season long.
I see here somewhere in the chat, Chris Agadol, and I lost it. Hey, Justin, how many people from Chicago are in our chat right now?
They
so
going
many.
crazy.
Because right now, out of the poll that says, do the Lions beat the Bears, 47% are saying yes. I mean, can we dial up an overreaction to week 1?
Yes, that the Bears are going to beat the Lions. I mean, all right. See, this kind of counteracts everything that I'm going to say in the rest of this episode. Because at the end of the day, the Packers are in a different class than the Bears. They made the playoffs this year. They made improvements to their roster. They are a better team than they were last year. And so are the Bears, but the Bears are coming from the absolute bottom of the NFL.
Right.
There's a difference to that. They need more talent. They're not one player away like the Packers seem to have been with Micah Parsons. It's a different story. That's why I think that this is going to be a very nice game for the offensive line, because it's not even remotely close to as good of a front seven as the Packers have in the Bears.
Shout out second best with this amazing spicy chicken sandwich. Bartender super attentive.
I feel like we need to talk more about this game, though, before we keep talking about the Bears. I feel like there's a lot more in-depth details that we have to go into. The first one that really, really bothered me, okay, and I think we didn't spend enough time on it. It was the identity. I thought that was a great point by Anson. When is the last time we saw this team not have an identity and not play power football? And there was times when we were in the red zone where I thought we were going to go for it. I expected them to go for it, and they didn't do it. That's not Lions football.
It's not.
I see Dan Campbell coming in there with his balls on the table and absolutely going to war with them. And I didn't feel that today. There was times where I was thinking Dan Campbell was going to go for it, and he didn't. And that's never the case. I'm usually surprised that he goes for it. And I can't. Have you ever had a Dan Campbell game in his era where you're surprised he didn't go for it? This is the first time ever I felt this way, that I felt like they weren't as aggressive as they could have been.
Yeah, this game today.
Year one, Dan Campbell was kind of like that.
But it's one thing to go and
but
lose on the road. But that was when they had a talent.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was when they had a talent discrepancy. When they have had the talent in the last 2 years, and then to start this year, this is the first time in the 2 years they've had a good enough team where they have truly not been aggressive to the absolute core, to the end, as to the utmost respect as Dan Campbell does.
A lot of us saw the possibility of losing on the road in Green Bay.
Right.
But not looking this way.
Yeah, nobody saw
Not looking this way. And it's one of those things where you don't have much to take away from this game and be like, okay, we're going to be fine. Somebody in the chat just said, Bears got you scared. And I'll tell you what, after this performance,
come on.
You see a lot of fans, they're going to be scared all week. Now, again, they got to catfish a quarterback. Catfish Caleb Williams. He ain't doing nothing. I'm not worried about it. They're not coming into Ford Field. And I'll tell you right now, after embarrassing themselves on the road and then having to invite Benedict Johnson, Osama Ben Johnson, back into Detroit, they will be geared up for this game. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not sounding any alarm, but if they come back next week, come home, and host the Bears and Ben Johnson and lay an egg, then there is serious cause for concern in the great city of Detroit, period.
I understand that, but fans, listen to me, bro. We cannot get scared about this team unless this is a multi-game trend. And by multi-game, I mean at least 3 to 4 games of what we saw today before we should absolutely hit the panic button and just be like, all right, this team is going to win 7 games to, somebody that said that earlier in the chat. I'm not ready to freak out about this team because they know what's at stake. They've been in this spot before. I mean, I think about this game and I think about the Tampa Bay game. You remember the Tampa Bay game last year. They came out the gate slow, barely scored any points. A lot of people were like, what the hell? This team looks incapable. Dan Campbell came to the podium and told you, hey, it's going to take about 6 weeks before this offense really kicks on into gear. And sure enough, after 6 weeks, they were the best offense in football.
How long is it going to take this offense to kick into gear, KG?
That's the million-dollar question. I would like to say next week.
It better be next week.
I would like to say next week for sure.
I don't think they need to be at full force to win next week.
But do you think that Detroit fans can handle going 0-2, losing at home in Detroit,
absolutely
not. To catfish Caleb and Osama bin Johnson?
Look at today. They can't handle today. But I will say dropping 2 early division games will not do you any favors if you're the Lions. Like, we still want to go out there and win the division if that's possible, and you can't start this way out of the gate, especially looking like you did today.
Hey, shout out to the 1,300 strong in the chat right now. Show us some love. Smash that like button. We got to show some love to Second Best. They are our home for all of our pregame shows for the home games throughout the rest of the season. So make sure if there's a Lions home game, you started off at Second Best with us. Big shout out as well to Sun Cruisers, making this loss a little bit more tolerable. KG, let's go through some of the stats on this nasty outcome here. Jordan Love, the guy that everybody keeps telling me is overrated, he's not good. He went out there, puts up a 128.6 QB rating.
Sheesh.
Mr. Efficiency, 16 of 22, 2 touchdowns, only 188 yards. He didn't have to be great. He didn't have to put up big numbers. The Lions never put the onus on the Packers to outscore them. So he sat back, checked down, was efficient, didn't turn the rock over, and won the game.
And you would think, like, the way he played today, you would think that, his stats are through the roof. I mean, Jordan Love had a great game. I'm not going to deny that by any means. 31 of 39 completions. I mean, they absolutely torched our secondary. And that's something I want to get into with you, too. How does secondary look? Because T.A., he ends up going down with the groin injury. We all know. But before that, they just did not look good at all.
Defense looked bad.
And for, I got to stand on this. I've said that the Packers receiving core is mid. They looked a lot better today. Jaden Reed was out there making plays. Tucker Kraft was involved. You saw a lot of different things from this Packers passing attack.
No, man. We good. No, we're
receivers.
good.
But ultimately, I thought the Packers had questions to answer in terms of what their offensive line looked like, in terms of how, at times where they struggled last year, and their receivers being banged up and just not being available in games like this. But they showed out today, man. You got to give them credit.
They had nothing but answers today. But, Justin, if I told you that the Packers had 188 yards passing and 78 yards rushing against the Detroit Lions, you'd rack up a W, right?
I would assume that they would win that game.
Unbelievable. 188 yards passing, only 78 on the ground. For us, 46 on the ground. Ran it 22 times, 11 for Monty, 9 for Gibbs.
That's tough.
They averaged 2.3 and 2.1 yards per carry.
Tough.
Now, then you get 10 targets for Gibbs. You get a bunch of targets for Amon-Ra, 6 targets, but where was the downfield attempts? Where were the big throws? We heard ad nauseum about how this team was going to be, pressing down the field and taking big shots. We saw absolutely none of that. This offense looked like the offense from the first half of the first year under Dan Campbell. I didn't recognize anything. But the offense, for me, was even more concerning because there was just zero identity.
Yeah.
There was no purpose. I mean, what are you doing?
And how the hell are you going to get big plays off if Jared Goff has no time back there?
Well, that's true. But at the same time, I think that he had a decent amount of time. I thought that he looked unsure. I thought that he made some bad reads. Obviously, the interception that he threw when they had a chance to score in the first half, just didn't even see that guy.
Well, mistakes compounded over the course of the game. But I think that through the running. We all know what the strength of Jared Goff is. It's through the play action pass. And when you can't get the run game utilized in the way that the Lions normally do in playing time of possession football that we know the Lions are capable of doing, you spoke to the identity. That's the identity. That's the blueprint for what the Lions offense looks like. Today, they weren't able to get any of that off, and it started with the run game getting shut down, and you got to a point to where they had to abandon it. And once again, when Jared Goff is fighting from behind and when he has pressure, especially coming up the middle, that makes things 10 times harder for him to go out there and be the Jared Goff that we know and love.
Shout out everybody in the chat. Please smash that like button. Let's get us over 200 and keep pressing on. I'm going to hit a couple of these super chats.
And then when you're done, can I hit you with a power stat?
Absolutely.
Man, I hope it's a good one.
It is a good one.
There's not much good to be focused on right now.
No, it's not good. It's good for content. Let's just put it like that.
There you go. Brian Rookert saw an offensive line that needs work together, not coordinated. Everything was a step slow to protect Goff.
Totally
I agree.
Totally
I do
agree.
think that they will absolutely get better, though. Bishop, do we miss Tim Patrick for his blocking yet? We didn't even get downfield to be blocked.
Yeah, that's
for.
I ain't rocking with that.
Teddy Fresh, Tyreek played. I watched the whole game. I thought he got abducted. Absolutely. Never heard his name called once. Ryan Relkin.
Lopez was playing towards the back end of the game instead of him as well.
Yeah, and that's not something you love to see from your first-round pick. Ryan Relkin, the front office and head coach, believe their own hype. Hey, Ryan, everybody else in Detroit bought into it as well.
Right, believe their own hype.
I mean, listen, I picked these guys for a long time to lose this game.
Yeah.
For 2 months, I've been saying that they'd lose this game. I, at no point, thought the team that would lose this game would look like the team that we watched today. Last super chat here, Ryan Relkin doubles down. 0 snaps for starters in preseason. Flat? Yep. Rusty as shit. Hit us with that stat, Justin.
All right, fellas. Well, how many pressures do you guys think that the Lions had as a team today?
Probably just over double
3.
digits. Just over double digits.
3.
All right, you guys are pretty in the range. I will tell you, they had 0 sacks on Jordan Love.
Well,
Yeah, we know that,
They
but
had
pressures, though.
9 pressures on Jordan Love, and 3 of them were generated by Aiden Hutchinson. This is not good enough, but no, we good, though. Hey, that's what I was told.
Oh, we finna hear that shit already.
No,
Jesus.
we're going to hear that right now because, I can't lie. Being petty and now being willing to pay players that can help this team win is a big deal. And the fact that our edge is an issue right now is an issue. I can't sugarcoat that. There was no pressure on the quarterback today. Jordan Love sat back there and cut us up with time and a half to throw. There was no one near him. And the times that we did, he almost threw interceptions. So what does that tell you? If you have a good pass rush, it turns off quarterbacks. I think everyone knows that. It's basic football, and this pass rush isn't good enough.
So how mad are you about Z?
I'm pissed off.
How mad are you about Darius Smith going to Philly right now?
I'm utterly pissed off. There's no reason why you let your literally the team you are competing with, or you think you're competing with, because now the Packers are better than you this year. They just beat you. They have all the right in the world to say that they're better than you this year.
All right, let me ask you this. If Zadarius was here, does this game look like this?
I don't think so. You think
Zadarius Smith is the difference in this type of game?
I don't think we get blown out. I think that you saw in the second half when the scheme dictated some pressure on Jordan Love, and Jordan Love almost threw 2 interceptions. He did throw one of them, but was called back from the flag. He was more flustered in the second half than he was in the first half. In the first half, he literally sat there for 20 years in the pocket. He could have had his entire career back there the way that the Lions were pass rushing, okay?
Yeah,
that wouldn't have happened if there was an other edge rusher. What did Marcus Davenport do today? Anything, literally. Did he do anything?
He did nothing.
Was he even on the field?
But there were
was he even on the field?
There were times where they were sending 6 or 7 guys, and they
7?
still 6, 7, and they still weren't getting through. So it's just like I do understand, but I'm not worried about people that
You're not
ain't
worried
here.
about the pass rush?
No, I'm not worried about people that aren't here.
All right, let's change the conversation then. Let's change
Darius
that's fine.
shit
That's fine. Are you worried about the pass rush?
Yes. I mean, 9 pressures
Lie
is
to me,
great.
KG. Lie to me and say that you feel comfortable with the pass rush, please.
If it looks like this next week, I will be concerned. I'll say that.
Yeah, and listen, both of you can be right. Zadarius Smith would have meant something in this game.
Yeah,
he would have changed.
I don't know if he's the
He would have
difference.
changed some outcomes in some series. Lions would have still lost this game. And it's not because of Za'Darius. It's because of the lack of identity on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Last year when this team was healthy, even when they weren't, in the regular season, they brought it. They knew exactly who they were because they had Aaron Glenn pushing the way, leading the way.
Exactly.
Pleasant doesn't have that same nasty presence that Aaron Glenn does. I promise you, every guy on that defense last year, not one of them was looking forward to letting that man down.
Right.
Aubrey Pleasant stalks the sidelines differently. I'm not sure that he brings the same presence. Now, in terms of Johnny Morton and Ben Johnson, I know that it's going to take a little bit of time for this offense to figure things out, especially with the new young guys on the offensive line. I'm not worried about them. The cats that we have on the defensive line or the defensive side of the ball, I believe that they can be a top 10, top 8 unit. The way that Aubrey Pleasant had them fired up for today, gritless.
Yeah. I'm
not sure that he can get out of this defense what we need to make a Super Bowl run. I believe the offense will be fine. Again, I believe the defense has the guys on paper, on that roster, their names and numbers with their weight and their height and their school. Those guys can get it done. I'm just not sure that Aubrey Pleasant is the guy to get it done because he did not have them ready to play today.
You keep saying Aubrey, you mean Kelvin Shepard.
Kelvin Shepard,
Yeah, I'm like, you just say Aubrey Pleasant a lot. And Deshae Townsend.
Shout out Sun Cruiser.
Right, shout out Sun Cruiser. And Deshae Townsend being the DB's coach as well. But, yeah, I mean, Shep.
DB's got cooked too?
Yeah, DB's got cooked all over the place.
Where was Kirby Joseph today? Where was Kirby?
But you're not going to do a lot in the secondary when
Hutch?
the pass rush looked.
Where was Hutch? Where was Hutch?
I mean, Hutch did all he could.
He was on the commercials.
Right.
He had more commercials than sacks.
Yep.
Shout out Easy, best quote of the day. Michigander 12-12. I was told blindly to trust Brad. Was I lied to? No, you were not. Okay? Because when you look where this team and franchise was in 2020, entering this decade, the 20s, they were the absolute worst and most listless franchise in sports. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Okay? What they've done is they have drafted and extended fantastic hits that they themselves found in the draft and obviously developed to a point where they wanted to re-sign them. So, a first week loss, you can't lose faith in Brad. Maybe you don't have faith in the offensive coordinator yet. Maybe you don't have faith in the defensive coordinator yet. Maybe you don't have faith in the offensive line yet. Maybe you don't have faith in this defense yet.
Right.
But you're an absolute asshole if you don't have faith in Brad right now. Because the fact of the matter is, they may not win a Super Bowl this year, but they're a playoff team. And they're a playoff team next year. And they're a playoff team the year after that. For the next decade, this team will challenge and give you hope to be in a Super Bowl. When it happens, we're not sure. With the team I saw in this week one game, I'm not calling the Super Bowl, but I think they'll get it right.
No, of course. And I hate to keep digging in the past, but we got to just go off what we've seen. This team is battle-tested. This team has cachet. This is why they've been one of the better teams, arguably the best team in the NFC over the past 3 years now. So this is why myself,
the best team.
I'm saying it's 1 week. They'll get this shit together. They're going to come out pissed off against the Bears. But for everybody that forgot that just what the hell has happened over these last couple years, we talking 15 wins last year. Yes, we know how the playoffs ended. We talking an NFC championship appearance over, 2 years' time. This team is going to be okay. If anybody knows what this team needs is Brad Holmes and his Dan Campbell. So that's why I'm not going there with the coach. I'm not going there with Brad Holmes this and Brad Holmes that. Yes, the early returns say, hey, Brad, we would have liked another edge rusher, and I do get that, but I just need to see a little bit more because this defense came out the gate last year, and they looked pretty damn good. Besides that Tampa Bay game, they were able to come out and be a top 10 defense in this league. And I think they have all the players on this team to continue to do so. A lot of the same guys. And you added some really good younger talent to this team. They need time to mesh and gel as a unit. But I think ultimately we're going to get there. But if this game turns into multiple, that's at the point where I start to get concerned.
Yeah, well, at that point, things have spun out of control up on top. I'm looking at one of these one of these super chats. Michael Matreski, he's touching on something you brought up earlier, something I've been saying for a couple of years now. Yeah, I think we needed this loss, he says, to fire up and honestly address where we need to improve. This is a revenge-based team. We've watched it for some years now. This loss, this embarrassing way to start a season up, we should see a very angry team at Ford Field next weekend. Correct?
Oh, listen.
And if we don't?
Listen, I've said this all week leading into the Packers game.
Next week, I'm going to crash out.
I feel bad for the Chicago Bears, bro, because they don't really know what they're walking into. I said it would do them a favor for the Lions to win this game convincingly. They didn't. You're going to get a totally different Lions team today. At the bare minimum, you're going to get effort out of this team. At the bare minimum, that's what you're going to get next week. But if they don't, then they got some questions to answer because you've lost 2 division games. You've gone into the whole 0-2 as a whole record. And now, okay, the division looks in question. I'm not going to say the playoffs look in question, but it doesn't do you any fucking favors at that point. They will have a lot of questions to answer if they come out. If they lose to the Bears, they'll have questions. But if it looks like today, I think that, okay, we need to kind of figure out what the hell's going on with this team.
Shout out to our chat right now. We're over 220 likes. Keep smashing that button. Next goal is 300. Keep the super chats coming in. I promise you, we will read them with priority. Michigander 1212 again. Brad is too chicken shit to make the necessary move. I will wholeheartedly disagree with that, although I think Z was a common sense signing. We obviously saw the lack of, getting home, the lack of final execution of penetration. 9 pressures is great, but if you have no sacks to show for it, it sure is not great. You're right about that.
Hutch
KG.
normally get that in his sleep.
Chosen 2 eyes. Apologize to Ben Johnson right now. No. So let's move on. Let's take a look a little more at the stats here.
How about the fact that Hutch dropped into zone coverage multiple times today? What are we doing? I understand that it happened in the past, but that was way too often in the playbook where we're bringing our best edge rusher to.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
We weren't exactly complaining when he was catching interceptions in coverage, but the fact is
that still was less often in the tendencies than it was today.
Nobody was getting home. Hey, I mean, let's take a look at the team stats here, which should tell a pretty telling story. I want to look at time of possession. What do you think the time of possession was, KG? Don't look.
Yeah, I was already looking at it.
35 to 24 for the Lions. 35 to 24 for the Lions. So there's a few things under the surface here. Again, we talked about 180 yards passing, just over 70 rushing. So maybe the defense wasn't that bad.
Well,
250 total yards is not that terrible.
No, it's
not. They forced a pick 6, which gets called back on I don't want to say that this is on the Zebras, but that call
I thought it was garbage.
It was garbage.
He barely touched Jordan Love. I thought he was a free blocker at that point.
But if we rewind
it
now,
is what it is.
We're looking at the statistics here. That's domination in terms of time of possession.
No, and that is one thing that the Lions normally do well, and you did see in this game. They had drives put together.
First down, 16 to 14.
But what did it result in? 3 points. 3 points. You're not going to win with field goals in this league. And I thought that was maybe the biggest thing offensively is that, you got down the field at times, but in the red zone, you did absolutely nothing. And we know this Lions team to be a very dangerous team in the red zone. They couldn't get anything executed until it was too late in garbage time where Tesla gets the touchdown.
Justin, how far away is this team from executing like what KG just said, looking at the fact that the defense statistically wasn't that bad, that the offense had more first downs and dominated time of possession? How far away is this team away from being able to completely flip that script next week in Detroit?
I think it's a different situation because I do think that the Chicago Bears are not as gifted of a team as the Detroit Lions, but you didn't see the gifted players today. I think that is an issue as well. Where was Gibbs? Where was Monty? Where was St. Brown? Where was J-Mo? I'm just saying, I don't want to be this guy, but everyone wants to hype up this roster. We got 9 top 100 players in the entire NFL.
In one game, don't change that.
No,
Justin.
I know, dude.
Come on.
I know. I'm not.
Dog.
I'm not saying that we're cooked. I still think this team has what it takes to win the Super Bowl, but they're not there right now. This is not as of right now. I'm talking about right now. Everything that I'm saying is about this team right now. I still think they will be successful. They have all the talent that you could possibly need to win in this league. Okay, that doesn't go over my head. But right now, the offensive line isn't good enough. The defensive line isn't good enough. Everything about this team isn't good enough. Goff didn't play good enough in the red zone. He couldn't complete a pass in the red zone. They couldn't run the ball in the red zone, and that is the issue. You get beat when you kick field goals in this league. That's what we did today.
Yeah.
We settled for 3 multiple times, and like I said earlier, there was times where I thought that in the past, if they were confident in this offensive line like they have been in the past, they would have gone for it. Yeah. And I didn't feel like they felt like they had this advantage on the line of scrimmage like they've had in the past. And even in games where they didn't feel like they had it, I still felt like they still wanted to go for it and not be the reacting team. They still wanted to go out there and bang bodies and be that physical presence. And today, I didn't feel like they did that at all.
And Justin, to your point, there was a point towards the end of the half or going to halftime where the Lions, offensively, they had all 3 timeouts. They didn't really utilize it. They let the clock just kind of run. And you did wonder, why aren't they being more aggressive here? Why aren't they playing with more of a sense of urgency? In the first half, I would say that, in the trenches, you didn't get completely dominated. So I would have liked to see a little more aggressiveness in that first half, especially when you went down 10 pretty much instantly, as soon as that first quarter was over. But towards the going to the half, I did kind of wonder, are they taking their foot off the gas here? Are they kind of losing, what's going on with this team?
They were unrecognizable today, and I think that was the most disheartening thing. Now, I have to say, I have such confidence in Dan Campbell to right this ship, to get this team. Because this team, again, revenge-based team, they take this kind of stuff personally. They do. And if Dan can't get them rallied up before next week and they come out looking lifeless like they did in this one, I would be absolutely shocked. Owen Mullen in the chat, $10 super chat. We appreciate it. Packers came to play, and we didn't.
Flat out.
This didn't feel like the Lions football today. The loss will fuel us for next week. It might turn out a good thing. Also remember the 0-7 Giants started out 0-2. I didn't even read this super chat. He just summed up exactly what I was trying to say perfectly. Shout out to everybody. You got us over 250 likes. Again, we're pushing for 300. Get us there, over 1,000 in the chat. You guys are riding strong. We're an hour into the post-game show here from Second Best, downtown Detroit. You want to join us every single home game. We will be here for the pregame show, so come check us out. Shout out to Sun Cruiser. They had me cruising for the bathroom here just a minute ago. But listen, get your super chats in. We will read them. A few of my notes from this one. Not only they looked rusty, obviously. New offense. Didn't look good.
Yeah.
At the same point, though, we just talked about some of the numbers here. There are some things, there's some silver linings there in terms of the time of possession, in terms of, having more yardage and things like that, more first downs. But there's something to be said about execution, and they were not executing their drives. You go back to some of the early miscues with the penalties, and then another penalty on that pick six. The thing that we saw with the Lions in the past, obviously for the majority of our lives, but then even in the beginning of that Dan Campbell era that we didn't see much of last year, was them tripping on their own dicks. Excuse me for my French, but that's what they did today. It was out on the floor, and they kept tripping on it, and it's things that they can absolutely switch in 1 week and look like the most dominant team in the NFL. But again, the Lions, for my entire life, have been their biggest enemy. I'm just curious whether this new coaching staff can get out of their own way next week.
I believe that they can, but this is why I said earlier, and it's hard to pin blame because everything went wrong, both sides of the football, so it is hard to pin it on one specific area, but I'm putting this more on the players than the coordinators because you can coordinate all day effing long. When you go on the field and you look like that, and like to Justin's point, you got one of the best backfields in all of football. They didn't play demonstrated that capability today. You have a top 10 quarterback, some argue top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He didn't play like that today. Nope. You have had your calling card has been the offensive line being absolute maulers. You didn't get any of that today. So, and same with Hutch on the defensive end, one of the best pass rushers in the league. Didn't really get home like that, albeit first game back from injury. These guys just did not show up, and not only did they not show up, it was just the fire that they seemed to just not have. They got in their own way. They got down on themselves. They let the problems compound, and you could see it in the body language of the players. And when you begin to see it in the body language early in one half of football, that normally doesn't tend to bode well like for the rest of the game. And that's what you saw. They got in their own heads, and they were already defeated by the time halftime came. Yeah,
Lions number 1. Yep, the players win the game. And to your point, the players did not bring it. It's now on the coaching staff because they've got to find some fire to be able to place in the bellies of these guys as they come home. Another super chat from Michigander 1212. Here's a positive. Only one player slightly injured.
Yeah. And we hope TA is all right. So
Justin, what was or actually I'll ask you first, KG. What was your numerical prediction for wins this year?
I said 13.
You said 13. I said
I'm still on pace.
I said 12. Justin, how many in you?
I said 12, I think.
So 12.
Maybe 13. I might have switched up. I don't remember.
So we're all in the same 12-13 basket. Does today change your mind?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Even though you said they were going to win this game, so now your numbers should be different, KG.
But once again, I'm still on pace.
Okay,
you got to lose 4 games to get to 13 wins. So
what game did you say that they were going to lose that they're now going to win because they dumped this first game that you thought they were going to win?
We got to go back through the record. I had to remember what game I said. But
hey, I got $7 for you to go back through that record.
Okay. I'm getting my $7
find that
back.
Game.
But I got you. I'm going to pull up the schedule. But
there you go.
Ultimately, yes, I did think that they would win this game. I thought they would win this game pretty convincingly. But what the Packers showed me is that they are a better team than I thought. Like Jordan Love, at least for right now, like we still got to see what the hell they're going to do throughout the season and if they can withstand, injuries and things that may come up during the year. But I thought the receivers were more banged up than what they actually were. I thought the offensive line had more questions. Yes, you got Micah Parsons, but we all know the situation with him. You did see him in a limited sample size. He got a sack on a cheap play action rollout. Fine. Micah Parsons got a sack. Fine. But defensively, I thought that the secondary, they would have some issues. They didn't. Like, they just looked dominant in all aspects of the game, and that's why I feel like this is uncharacteristic of the Lions because they would have won in some areas of this game. And like you said, they won in time of possession, but virtually nothing else went right for this team. So it's hard to really gauge, like, okay, did the Packers just have a day where the Lions were bad at the office and they were just really, really good? Or is this the norm? I'm not ready to say this is the norm just yet, so it's hard to really pinpoint that.
Yeah, listen, I'll go to Justin at this point. Justin, you said 12-13 wins. You were pretty confident in this week 1. Does this loss change your win total?
No, I got to stay firm. I do believe the talent is on this roster for them to be good enough to still win this division. I don't think one game is going to talk me out of that. I do believe in this roster at the end of the day. I think they are extremely gifted. They're still one of the best rosters in football in terms of talent. It's going to take it some time for this offensive line to get up to speed. It's going to take some time for Aiden Hutchinson to get up to speed, obviously. So I'm not going to cook them already. I will say my confidence in that number has definitely struck a little bit because I now see instead of a 2-1 start, I see a possible 1-2 start, and I don't know what it's going to look like after we play the Ravens. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm overly confident anymore. I definitely was feeling overly confident about 12-13 wins. Now I think, you got some stuff to fix. I still think they're going to do it, but my confidence isn't over the moon like it was.
Well, much to the chagrin of the chat, I thought we'd lose this game. So my number of 12 has not been shaken. I told you guys last week or 2 weeks ago after the last post-game show, and again, you didn't like it, but I thought that this was a healthy game for the Lions to lose. Losing week 2 at Ford Field to the Chicago Bears, that's not a healthy win. That is a chicken little moment for this Detroit Lions team. Now, personally, I don't believe that we're going to see that moment. I think that there's so much on the line with Benedict Johnson coming back here and the Lions being 0-1 that I think that they absolutely come out and they dog walk the Bears next week. Now, my question, though, for you guys is this, and this is a tough one as we enter hour number 2 of the Lions post-game show, Woodward Sports here at Second Best. Shout out Sun Cruiser, one of our sponsors. My question for you guys at this point right now, what would make you say this team is SOL? If they make the NFC Finals, the NFC Championship game and lose, are they not SOL? If they make the Super Bowl, to me, they're not SOL, of course.
Anson, come on, man.
Come on, bro.
I'm asking you the hard fucking question here. I know everybody in the chat wants to answer this question.
You're going first, KG.
I'm going for blood right now. We're starting off the second hour with some blood. Let's go.
I mean, it's not blood to me. You know how much it would take for me to realize that, or to say that this team is SOL again?
Okay, what would it be?
Because you realize that
what
SOL.
Would it be?
All right, answer me this. What do you define as SOL?
They are SOL until they do something I've never seen, and that is appear in a fucking Super Bowl. It's been, 59 years?
Yeah, I understand that. That's a very broad understanding of what SOL is. To me, a more specific answer.
It is very broad. I understand it in the broadest of sense.
A more specific answer for
myopic.
me. SOL is organizational. And the fact that you have Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell in the building, and we have had a 4-year sample size to see what the hell these guys are made of going into year 5 now. I have no worries or concerns about the future of this team. I have no worries or concerns about the type of players we bring into this team. You can make the argument about the players we don't bring in, but sure. But the fact that Brad Holmes is so shrewd and, doesn't just let any old person walk into this Lions locker room, I like that. To me, SOL is going to take so much to get back to that point.
And what is that finish?
That is
10 wins?
That is us sitting,
9 wins and missing the playoffs?
No, that is us sitting here at Second Best maybe 8 years from now, and they didn't cash one in with the roster that they have.
But what if they make the playoffs for the next 8 years? And then
that's not SOL.
It's not SOL.
Because SOL was we're bottom of the barrel. SOL is we don't give a damn about the product that we put on the field, so we're going to sell tickets, and this team's going to go 2-15 every year. That's SOL. There is no sign of that nowhere near this team, and I refuse to say that, Anson. I lived through SOL. I was here through 0-16. I was here through Marty Morningweg. I was here through Steve Mariucci. I was here, Joey Harrington. Like, I could go down the list.
Joey Harrington's your guy.
Even Jim Caldwell. Listen, Jim Caldwell, I love him.
Caldwell.
And that was a breath of fresh air during those 4 years. It wasn't good enough. I lived through SOL, Anson. This shit right here, this is not even close, bro. It's going to take a lot for me to say that.
So what is that? Just missing the playoffs 1 year?
I just told you.
So I'm going to come to you, Justin, but I need a defined answer from him. So what is it? So in 8 years, no championships?
Let me rephrase the question for you, because I think that this is how you best get the right answer that you're looking for, okay? KG, when is the first time that SOL will creep back into your mind?
Good reframe.
All right.
That not when you, because I don't think we'll ever admit that they're back to SOL until they literally drop to the bottom of the NFL again.
Fair.
But when will it creep into you that like oh man, we might be cursed, like stuff like that? Like when does that start to play a factor in your mind?
I don't believe this team is cursed. Yes, we've had some crazy things happen to us, but I'm not leaving it in the hands of superstition. If you got the right guys that have the right mindset, you can go get this shit done. We've seen it with teams across the league. Like, it's not impossible. The Lions can do this. SOL for me, if they go 2 or more seasons with less than 5 to 6 wins, that's SOL.
What if the next 2 years they don't make an NFC championship?
That's not SOL to me.
What if they lose in the first round of the next 2 years?
That's still not SOL.
Okay. All right. So you guys heard it. I want to hear from you.
It's not SOL.
We want to hear from you guys in the chat. The best ones I'll read. If you want to super chat, I'm coming to you, baby.
I got to play devil's advocate.
But hold on one second, Justin.
No, go ahead.
So listen, hold on one second. Listen, we want to hear from you in the chat. Smash that like button. We're close to 300. Get us over that. We want to hear from you what you think would make you feel SOL again. And if you want to super chat that, we'll read it immediately. Justin, I need to hear from you. What triggers your SOL alarm?
Okay. So here's the thing, all right? Because everyone wants to crucify Stafford for his lack of playoff wins, all right? And that is a constant conversation. Am I wrong? Is that is a constant conversation, Stafford's playoff success? As he lost in the first round every single time.
Well, aside from the championship.
Yes.
Oh, you mean as a Lion?
As a Lion,
oh,
yeah. I'm only talking about him as a Lion.
100%,
yes.
and he was SOL?
Yes. So, if you're talking about back-to-back, like, first-round losses, okay, that'd be 3 first-round losses in a row, all right? There will be a piece of the fan base, and maybe me myself, okay, because that would be concerning. 3 straight, like, I can't lie. If we lose in the first round 3 straight years in a row, and I'm gonna get killed for this. I can't lie, but there will be a piece of me that questions whether or not someone may not be the guy.
But questioning and SOL is 2 different effing things, and that's what I think.
Now, Justin, to be fair, last year those guys gave me all shit, and you know what? I said, well, what if they lose in the first round? And they're like, well, then I guess they'll be SOL. What happened? They lost in the first round. So, I don't want to push the SOL.
I didn't say that.
I'm not ever going to say SOL till they fall to the bottom of the barrel in the NFL. That is the truth for 100%.
And I think that's
right. SOL is losing football.
SOL is
losing football.
No, it's
yes,
not.
It is.
No,
SOL didn't even have a chance at the playoffs. You were praying for 3 teams to lose and for you to win on a random week 17.
You young gentlemen what SOL
Please
is.
Tell me. Please tell me.
It's losing football and constant playoff teasing, okay? It's not just being the bottom. It's having hope and having that hope dashed.
I only know hope on the bottom.
And shit on.
Exactly.
Well, you guys, but no, that's not true because you guys were there for Caldwell. You guys saw a playoff teams, but you saw those playoff teams never win shit. All right? And whether you're in your 60s or whether you're in your 20s, you've seen the bottom.
Three out of my 20 years before Dan Campbell got here. Like,
SOL is dead on arrival. SOL is either we have a shitty start to the season or we start 6-2 and finish 7-9.
Brother,
that's
listen,
SOL.
I was there in 91. I've been there with a bunch of these good teams, whether it was Megatron or whether it was Barry or whether it's now. We've had teams that have done this to us, given a little reach around, but never give us a finish. All right, and that's the problem with the Detroit Lions at this point. Is there's promise many years or some years. There's a lot of promise right now, but they never capitalize. And then there's a whole shitload of losing. Now this team hasn't given us any losing since Dan and Brad came here, and I've told you guys over and over. But listen, Justin,
do you have hope?
Oh, of course I do.
Then there's no SOL there.
No, homie, I had hope in the 80s and the 90s and the odd years and the teens, and my hope still continues in the 20s because I drink Kool-Aid and I eat cornbread.
When during those years could you definitively say that the Lions were a Super Bowl contender?
1992.
That 1 year out of how many?
Yeah.
1 year.
Sure.
That is SOL.
Okay, so
we've had 3 straight years of this team being a very damn good team.
2 years ago, you did not think they were a Super Bowl contender.
All right, fine.
Last year, we all did. And what did they do? They SOL'd us and lost in the first round.
That's not SOL, Anson.
That is the definition of SOL.
That's further than we've been as a franchise.
Or they're ripping your heart out. One of the two.
That's further than we've ever been as a franchise. I don't call that SOL. We can just agree to disagree. I don't call that SOL. Because I lived through it, and like I said, there's a lot of underlying things that are really defined with SOL. This Lions team, there's no SOL stink on this fucking team. They're going to bounce back.
Well, I hope you're right. Michigan City, Motor City 6-1-2. He thinks he'll bounce back. He thinks 10 to 12 wins.
Once again, a team that hasn't lost back-to-back games in 2.5 years.
And hopefully they don't next week. I think 10 and 12 wins is realistic, and it's also not an issue since that does not preclude them from winning the Super Bowl or the division, buddy, or the division. Ty Bronco, shout out, throwing $2 our way. He had nothing to say, just like the Lions offense had nothing to say either today. Khalid Muhammad, no pass rush. Offensive line was cheeks. We got dominated. Lions might have it rough next week. So let's get into that. I'm going to start off with Justin. Justin, you bring in the heat today. In fact, you've been making us look good all day down here. Shout out to you. You bust your ass.
Big shout out.
And I hope that Western, as you've returned to your national championship home of the Western Bronco hockey team, amazing. So I'm sure you guys are all happy to be back up at school there. But you've been crushing it for us for over a year now. I've got to ask you, where are you next week? I want a prediction.
I think that the Lions are going to win. I don't know how handedly. I'd like to say handedly, but I think that they're going to win, no matter how that looks.
I want a score, buddy. It's got to look a certain way, and I need numbers.
Justin, it's week 1, bro. Come on, give us a number.
I know. I'm trying.
We acted like this. Somebody got shot. Like I'm just not doing that today.
He does look like his buddy got shot.
I swear,
he didn't die, but his buddy's in the hospital.
Like this is
24-20 Lions win.
It was a rough weekend for you guys.
I think that
very rough.
At least you beat me in fantasy, Justin.
And both games look the
Monday night
same.
and Sunday night still got to go.
I'm pretty sure I lost.
But I think that the Lions, see, like, the Packers' front seven is elite. Like, that is true. I think, can we agree on that?
Elite, I say very good. I don't know about elite.
Very good. Is it as good as the Bears?
No.
All right. I think that the offensive line will have an easier job next week and at home as well with the home crowd with Caleb Williams. But Johnson returning, I think it's going to be too much for them. I believe we're going to have an easier time running the football, and obviously when we run the football, we're almost unbeatable. So I got to think that we bounce back and we win. Also, I've heard like the Bears' offensive line hasn't looked great in the preseason and in the joint practices, so hopefully we can actually create some pressure next week and have a little bit of a push-up effect on our defensive line so they start playing better because, I mean, today was inexcusable. They played awful. I don't know. I think that we just need to see any sort of progression in the right direction, and that will be okay for me. That's where I'm at this point.
KG, prediction. What'd you say, 20-17 or 2013?
24-20.
24-20. What about you, KG?
I got the Lions winning this game by at least a touchdown next week. I think they're going to come out on fire. The pass rush, I mean, the Bears have a lot to prove offensively to me. And once again, tomorrow night is going to show us some things. It's going to show us where the Bears are actually at with how their offense is going to run under Caleb Williams. This Ben Johnson offense has a lot of moving parts to it. And from the outset, it seemed like Caleb Williams and this offense never really could grasp what the hell Ben Johnson was trying to show them. You saw moments of frustration. So until further notice, I need to see it from them. I also need to see how improved this offensive line is from them because they went out and made some additions. I'll give them that. Joe Tooney, nobody to sneeze at. But they got to show it in game action. And the Vikings are going to provide a good test because they have a very good pass rush. They should be able to get after Caleb Williams. If they do that, I feel like the Lions can absolutely get after Caleb Williams. I see a bigger game for Hutch in this game as well. He's going to be able to get active and get loose. And everything collectively will just look better. I think the pass rush will look better, so that'll cause your secondary to look better. I think you'll be able to run the ball better next week, which will also open up Jared Goff to make plays in the passing game and get the ball to your playmakers. So I think it's an all-around better effort next week, and I got them winning by at least a touchdown.
Sorry, it's that part of the post-game show where you have to remind everyone in chat that we can't just sit up here and just glaze and say that was a great game. Like, that was not a great game. Like, you want me just to sit up here and be like, oh, they're absolutely fine. There's no issues with this team right now. They don't have to fix things going into the Bears game. We're not saying the season's over. Everyone here is saying that they still are Super Bowl caliber, and I still would pick them to win the Super Bowl, okay? But at the end of the day, there's stuff that they have to fix. The Eagles struggled at the beginning of the season, 2-2 to open the year. Went into the bye. They lost Kelsey last year and both coordinators. Same situation as the Lions. Ended up winning the Super Bowl. Great, like, comparison to the Lions situation.
Antonio Esparza. No mames. Nobody is scared to play in Detroit. I will say this, Antonio. Come to Detroit and say that shit on the side of the road. and I know that you're from Chicago, you will come and see what it is like to play in the toughest place to play in the NFL. And I think that that's something that people from outside of Detroit don't realize, because Ford Field wasn't what they had out in Washington and Seattle for all those years.
No.
It has become that, though. Not only do the fans of this franchise travel all over the country, but when it's at Ford Field, it's hell for the opposition to come and play. Now, I have to say, Ben Johnson, he's not coming here, he's not taking this game lightly.
Oh, of course not.
As ready as the Lions staff, brass, administration, and players are to hand that guy his ass and send him back to Chicago, at the same point, Ben wants to come in here and prove to everybody in Detroit the reason why this team was so good was because of him.
No, and that's going to cause him to press. Who's under more pressure? Even after a loss like this today, who would you say is under more pressure? Is it the Lions? Is it, what we got going on? Or is it Ben Johnson and the Bears situation? After being dubbed the boy genius, after taking your time, being selective, choosing the Chicago Bears, who allegedly had a first-round quarterback that's going to turn into a star one day. Who do you think is under more pressure going into week 2? Because I say it damn sure ain't us, even after losing like we did today.
Well, I mean, if the Bears are 1-0, it's a different story. But they've got to beat Minnesota tomorrow night. I think that's a tall task for them. I do like Minnesota to be second in the division. But I'll tell you what, if the offense clicks for them and Caleb looks like the number 1 pick that he was, the generational quarterback that they catfished everybody into thinking that he was, the worry in this city is going to quadruple. And it's going to go from just people jumping off the bandwagon. And again, these new money fans, I'm not worried about losing them for a week or two because they'll be back.
Right.
But if you get guys like yourself, like Justin, really worried because this team looks really great on Monday Night Football, I'll tell you what, brother, the next week is going to be tough radio.
I don't give a. I was about to drop the F-bomb.
I'm not worried about the Bears.
I don't care how they look Monday night. You got to come in the Ford Field.
Even though I just said that about the Packers.
Yeah, I know, right? But we got to stop talking about this team like they just got here, bro. This is a battle-tested team.
They've arrived, yes, no doubt.
And that's why
we crashed the Ferrari today. We did. We crashed the Ferrari.
It happens.
This team
I wouldn't even say a crash. You got a scuff mark. All right.
No, they crashed the Ferrari.
This was a scuff. It's a scuff,
they
bro.
crashed the
all right, it's 17 games, bro. In totality of a season, you think we're going to look back at this if the Lions turn out 13 wins? You think we're going to look back at this game?
Week 1 doesn't matter in the long scheme of things. It matters what they do with the last game of the season.
Do you guys remember when we lost to Seattle?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when we lost last year? What was it? Was it Tampa Bay we lost?
Absolutely.
Week 2?
Yep.
Week 2, last 2 years we've lost. And, boy, everybody said the sky was falling. Said everything under the sun about why this team wasn't complete, why we should not trust in Dan or Brad and all of those things. This game should piss them off to the point where we come and see the team that we know, love, and expect. Now, I've never seen a game over the last 2 years for this team, and now this being our third, where a loss would absolutely spin the fan base, because all we've heard all offseason, the Bears this, the acquisitions that, they signed these guys, they got Ben Johnson now, and right. Lions were only this or that because of that. So if these guys come into Detroit, into Ford Field, they don't even need to put a whooping on us. All they need to do is win.
No, that's a fact.
And now we are dealing with, and again, we can go 0-2, and I still think this is the Northern Division champs. I still think that we'll be fine making our playoff run. But the SOL Boo Birds, the absolute loss of faith, is going to be so heavy in this city. And what it really is how spoiled this team and our fan base has been for the last couple of years. We went from beaten lovers, guys, girls and guys that didn't know love, that only knew black eyes and blue eyes.
Right.
And now we've gotten to a point where everyone just came in and gave the Packers no shot today.
Yeah.
And this team is a little bit new. They're searching for identity. But, hey, I think they'll be fine next week. But if they're not, man, it's going to be a really tough off week after week 2 in the city of Detroit and throughout Lions Nation.
Nah, but I wouldn't say spoiled. I would more so say starved. And when people,
but listen, when you get starved and they put a smorgasbord in front of you, you eat it all up so fast, and you're full in 5 minutes, man.
And your stomach hurts.
And that's
I get it.
The problem with these fans is they I think so many of them just appeared overnight because this team got good, and there's so many of us that they're just like, well, let's just pause for a second,
right? Because I've seen what bad Lions teams look like. That's why I refuse to call it SOL. I've seen what bad Lions football looks like. And today, yes, it looked bad. But one thing I can guarantee about this Lions team and Dan Campbell, there ain't too many times where you're going to see them look like this back-to-back. I doubt that you see them look like this twice all season long, because that's just the type of team that Dan Campbell has coached to this fucking point. And I until proven otherwise, I do believe that Dan Campbell and the Lions, they will be ready for next week. They're going to be even extra mad. I think they were already pissed off about the playoffs and everything like that. I think this adds just another layer, another, sticky note to the bulletin board that we love to say that they have. This team is going to come out with fire and passion. And like I said, at a bare minimum, you're going to get effort. Because today, to me, they showed no effort. I promise you, they are going to have effort in spades next week. Whether they win or not is still in question, but I would dare to say if they bring the effort that I know they can bring, we know how good this Lions team is, and they're going to go out there and they're going to take care of an inferior opponent, because let's be real here. You can talk all the shit you want about how good the Bears are and all the improvements they made, Ben Johnson, the genius. Until further notice, they are a bottom feeder, and the Lions are a better team. We are in the stratosphere of the NFC, and they need to handle business.
Yeah, and I'm on the same page. I think that this team will respond next week. I'm not worried about that. Motor City 612. Is it bad that I want BJ and the Bears to win tomorrow since I live in Minnesota and I'm sick and tired of these Vikings fans?
Yeah, I mean.
No, we are not mad at you for that.
You're the Bears' false hope?
And in fact,
I wouldn't mind that.
We appreciate you being here. We appreciate the 800 that are still riding strong with us here in our second hour. We're approaching minute number 90. We need you all to smash that smash that like button, chat. Next goal is 350. Let's get us there. Also would love to hear from you guys. Keep the super chats going. We will push more conversation based on what you guys have to say. Going through these notes here, there's not much to say, so please help me out, Justin.
It's not related to the Lions. It's on a positive note. I got to shout out Grey Ghost real quick, the partner of Second Best. My just got some lamb chops over here. They're absolutely absurd. So shout out to Second Best and Grey Ghost. They are partnered together. They're both amazing in the downtown Detroit. They've been hosting us all day, been keeping us fed and drinking good. So shout out to them.
I didn't even know they was doing lamb chops down here. That's next on the menu for the next home game for sure.
And we are at Second Best as we all individually smash some food here. The food's unbelievable. Every single Lions home game, Woodward Sports will be here at Second Best for the pregame show. So get your ass to Detroit for every home game. Start your day off at one of the premier bars down here. Always great vibes. They got a huge courtyard outside with a giant movie-size, like drive-in size TV. There's no better place to start your day off. Whether you're going to the game or you want to just hang out here for the entirety of it, you can link up with us with Woodward Sports. Check that game out. Shout out to our sponsors. We got to do that again. Sun Cruiser, of course, Lady Jane's, Black Rock Grill, and then the fighters over at Ben Johnson. Mad Packs, I'm going to be getting into a little bit of that on my drive home.
Oh, yeah, definitely need that.
Black Rock.
Shout out to Brendan. Shout out to Justin. Brendan, if you got any more Sun Cruisers, we could definitely use one. But, chat, I need a topic. Give us a hot topic. Next super chat in, we will start the next topic, but I know both of you guys got something to chime in on until we wait for the chat to give us something.
And Justin, I'll let you go because you wanted to speak.
Yeah, I got you. All right, well, I feel like we haven't hit on the offensive line enough, and there was
you sure? That's all we done talking
sure
about.
has, but let's double down.
I think we ain't talking about the defense enough. We harped on offense.
We'll go back to the defense. I'm good either way. Where would you like to go,
You
KG?
start off
It's your
with-
show, brother.
Yeah, there we go.
You're the rookie.
Let's talk more about the defense and minus the edge rusher talk because we all know that's a dead horse.
Where was
that's
Jack
multiple
Campbell?
dead horses.
You don't want to talk about Zedarius?
Where was Jack Campbell? We
Yeah.
good. Where was Jack Campbell? Where
He
was Alex
non-existent
Anzalone
today.
Where was Alex?
Enzo made some plays. Enzo was out. He made some
Butterfinger
plays.
Alex Anzalone?
Listen, I understand that, but it was still a good defensive play.
Anzalone, 2 solo tackles,
Yeah.
2 assists.
Great game.
Now, Jack Campbell, to his credit, did have 5 solos.
But once again, look at
and
the stats
4
across the
assists.
board. Enzo was one of your better players today. He was.
The run D was completely held together by the defensive line today. The linebackers were non-existent. And Kirby Joseph, I mean, I love everyone on this team. So I don't even I literally hate criticizing them. Like, they don't deserve to be criticized in my mind. But I have to be honest on here. And Kirby Joseph was non-existent today. Did he even have a pass deflection?
No.
Yeah, literally Odona in the stat category made 0 impact on the game. Brian Branch did his best. I think he made a couple plays. He was probably the biggest bright spot on the defense, you could argue.
I think the secondary as a whole today struggled, man. And we saw it with TA at times.
Rocky Sin's holding call was brutal
atrocious,
timing.
Even DJ Reed,
DJ
man.
Reed got burned a couple times. Yeah. They were lacing it in the middle of the field a lot. That was concerning. I mean, they were getting whatever they wanted in the pass game, to be honest.
I think it's more so.
And then
go ahead.
As the D-line wore down, they were able to start running the ball as well, which is another big issue.
Yeah, but that was after, attrition set in. This team was kind of down on themselves. They got to running the ball a little bit. I'm not worried about this team in terms of run defense because to start this game, they didn't look terrible. They didn't look terrible. But the linebackers and the fact that you can't get pressure even manufactured is going to be a problem because once again there was times where you were sending 6 guys, you were sending 7 guys, and you still could not get home to Jordan Love, and that's not going to be good. You can't give any quarterback time, let alone somebody like a Jordan Love who is good. We may not say he's elite, you can debate that, but we know him to be a okay to good quarterback. And he showed it today that he can be great if you give him 8 seconds to pass the damn football. So, what do you think is the strategy going forward in terms of getting just a better rush, besides the fact that you just don't have an opposite rusher on the other side of Hutch?
Well, they have to execute. I saw no creative play calling out of, don't call me Aubrey Pleasant. What's his name?
Kelvin Shepard.
Kelvin Shepard.
Or me, according to the chat, or me.
He does. Yeah, honestly, there just was a lack of execution on both sides of the ball. Again, I'm going to go back to the time of possession, to the first downs. The numbers in the box score, if you look at them aside, away from the actual final score, there's a lot of promise for your Detroit Lions. It was the execution. They got down close to the goal line. They couldn't get it in. This is a team that was amazing in the red zone.
They were check down Charlies today.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. No shots down the field. No confidence in their play calling. No, where were the blitzes at? Did you see blitzing?
No, there was a point in the third quarter where the blitzing was starting to work a little bit. They were getting to Jordan Love, but there was just no consistency.
And there was no creativity either.
Exactly.
And that, honestly, is one of my big concerns right now for Kelvin Shepard versus AG. AG, he wasn't getting all wild out there like Ben was, but he dialed up some exotic stuff, different looks. And listen, again, they didn't have great numbers, only about 250 yards between the air and the ground. But at no point did Jordan Love and the Packers look confused.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put this so much on K Shep not having enough fire, But going forward, I think time will tell with that. Like, if he's not really, going out there and putting this team in the right positions, we're going to notice it, okay? But players have to play at the end of the day. And for
players got to play.
This particular loss, I'm putting on the players. But going forward, though, it is going to be pressure on Kelvin Sheppard because you speak about Aaron Glenn glowingly now that he's gone. But while he was here,
I was always an AG guy. I never called for his job.
No, but you didn't. But
day one, that guy never had the dogs.
Let's not act like there weren't people.
But he pulled so much.
AG's not doing enough.
And that's the thing is they didn't realize that guy pulled so much out of an inferior defensive unit. Last year, he was gifted the best defense he ever had. And after the first half of the season, when they were a top 8 unit, they were all injured.
Yeah.
And,
even throughout the injuries, they managed to maintain a pretty good defensive standing.
And I think that way too much credit was given to Ben Johnson and not enough was given to AG.
And I think that's fair. Absolutely.
Rando Smalls in here, Super Chat starting to cook back up. Hit us with those Super Chats. Smash that like button. Let's hit 350. 3 new starters, says Rando Smalls, and a new OC and DC. Come on. Going to take time to figure out. I'm going to skip DeJuan Hodges because I want to come back to that.
I thought he was saying bring in new starters. My bad.
No, he's saying it's going to take time to figure out. So Rando is patient. I'm going to skip DeJuan Hodges because I want to come back to his, and that's going to be our topic. I asked you guys to hit us with the Super Chat, and the best one will make our topic. Will John Morton and Kelvin Sheppard be the reason the Lions won't make a run? We'll double back to that one as well. Tyson Stahl, isn't it scary that the Packers are only going to get better? Micah played with about a week of practice in the last 6 months. Personally, I don't think the Packers looked great today. Offensively, or defensively, yes, they looked pretty good. Offensively, I think that they weren't challenged. And if you look at the statistics, they weren't fantastic. I want to go back to DeJuan Hodges. If the Lions lose to the Bears, where does their first win come from? Week 3.
Funny you ask.
Week 3, Baltimore. Week 4, Cleveland. Justin, I'm going to start with you first. If the Lions lose at home next week to the Bears, do they get their first week against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, or do they have to wait for Week 4 to Cleveland, or would you see it coming even after that?
Week 4. That Ravens game is tough, and it scares me even more now. This game reminded me of how I felt after that 2023 Ravens game. And we're going to go in there. They're a better team than they were in 2023. And, I mean, so are we as well. But still, I don't know if we're going to go into Baltimore and win.
KG?
Yeah, that Baltimore game on the road is going to be tough, especially it does, just from today's game, it does seem like you might not have an answer for a mobile QB, the likes of Lamar Jackson. So I do worry about that one. But come on now, you mean to tell me that the Lions can't beat the Browns at home?
Well, yeah, but can they beat the Baltimore? And I said
if they play Lions, like today, absolutely not.
The Lions will beat Baltimore. I told you guys they go 2-1 to start the season with a loss in Green Bay. The Ravens. Oh, they're a revenge opponent, remember?
Oh, yeah, they definitely are.
Because these guys have our number going back to that 66-yard kick from, well, he's out of the league now, isn't he? What's his name?
Justin Tucker, the freak boy.
Your boy. So
freak man.
Tucker,
Yeah, that's him.
Obviously that was nearly our first win under that regime. They dashed. Our hosts had to wait until that game where we got the win against Minnesota, where we came back in that one. But this team could lose against Chicago. I don't see it happening.
I don't.
And have no problem going and beating Lamb Jacks and the Ravens. I think that...
What gives you that confidence?
Well, if they lose game 2, I don't think that it's going to be by much. And I think that this team, I told you guys for weeks, and you hated me for it, but this team would struggle to find their identity with 2 new O and DCs, all right? They've got not much change in terms of their offense, but those front guys on that front 5 make all the difference. We didn't see the time for Jared Goff that we have in the past. I think by week 3, I think by week 2, but by week 3, even with a loss in week 2, this team, they have the Ravens circled on their calendar, and they will figure it out by week 3 that we will see that revenge happen. But I still don't think that we're going to lose back-to-back games, especially against Catfish
Trav
King.
did me so dirty on Twitter.
Oh, damn.
He posted me with the cheese head on. That's
content right there, KG. That's content right there.
That's tough out here.
You made the bet, bro. You made the bet.
I know. I'm shout out to Trav, though. I mean, it's okay. At least I'm willing to be a part of the content, unlike some of the people here. Shout out to everyone who is, but there's a lot of people at Woodward who wouldn't be put on blast like that and put in a negative light, but I don't care.
Hey, I let you leave it on me for about 10 minutes, but I told you get that fucking thing up my head. And I tried to get an hour out of him. You were a trooper for winning
now it's
as long
on the
as you
internet
did.
forever. So I mean, now it's already been seen by 10,000 people only on Twitter. I'm assuming
like
also
that.
on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey, listen, we not gonna have our best moments all the time up here, man. It is part of the game. But I am looking forward to a very good Lions season. And back to your point about the Ravens.
Hey, shout out our sponsor, Matt Paxton Loom. Please hit me up.
We need a lot of them right after this podcast.
I'm definitely delving into that. But the Lions do have working in their favor that they are a very good road team, which is something that during the SOL era of the Lions, that was non-existent. But you look at this team last year, perfect road record. Not saying they're going to be perfect again. I mean, that's very hard to do in this league, but they do have that working to their advantage. So I don't think that they'll be out of their element on the road, but there are just certain things that you have to account for in a game like that going against Lamar Jackson that I feel like could give the Lions problems. Now, the linebackers, they're going to be big in a game like that. And I did like what I saw from Derek Barnes today. I felt like his name kind of – he went under the radar a little bit. He was out there making plays. He looked energized. He looked healthy as can be. I think having a healthy Derek Barnes is only going to help this team going forward, and having your full complement of linebackers going forward is going to be good. But they're going to need to be able to contain that running ability of Lamar Jackson, and that's a narrative that still has not been answered by the Lions over these last few years.
Today I feel a lot better about Anzalone not getting an extension. And I know that that's going to piss some people off.
No, I agree.
But if you're pining for the money and the years that you want, you can't show up with 2 solos and 2 assisted tackles.
True. But once again, I think the stats, they aren't going to say, like, he was in position a lot more times than not, a lot better than some of the other players on this defense. And like you said, he did have a chance to really swing the game. If he could have got that interception, you're in your opponent's territory. Maybe the momentum swings your way and your offense is able to carry you into the end zone and the game looks a little bit different at that point. It doesn't happen. Now, I do understand, but I think Enzo going forward, he is still your best linebacker on this team. Jack Campbell is coming. Don't get me wrong. Pause. Jack Campbell is on his way. Like, he's got the green dot this year, and I think they put that belief in him because he's shown it. Over these last few years, he's done nothing but got better and gotten better and gotten better. But he still has questions to answer in terms of pass coverage. So Anzalone right now today is still your best option at linebacker.
So Aiden Hutchinson, from all reports, was the best he's ever been. All training camp, all preseason.
Y'all got to stall my man as always. We going there.
How many tackles did he have today?
I understand.
He had 0.
It's his first game back, bro. We do have that built-in excuse.
All right.
So, and once again, and Hutch,
you like that excuse?
He provided most of the pressure still on your team. Like, he was still Hutch, but he does need some help. And I know, they should have signed Zadarius Smith, KG. What are you talking about? He ain't here. And you got to deal with what's in-house. So, Marcus Davenport, you got to look better today. You got to be able to give Hutch a little bit of help on that side. Interior-wise, Tyleek, I know you're young, and a lot is being put on you early. You got to step up. DJ Reader, I did see him pop on the screen a few times and make some plays, but overall, you need a better showing from the defensive line as a whole. And I think that Hutch is going to be your best defensive lineman. I mean, come on, it's Aiden Hutchinson. He's going to bring it every single week. And I think that the more these weeks go on, the more mentally he gets back into playing consistent football, he's going to be the Hutch we know and love. But stall him out for week 1, y'all. We're not doing that.
Wait, you said Reader was good today?
Once again,
how many tackles did he have?
The stats is not going to show it, bro.
He had none.
The stats is not going to show it. But he was in the gaps.
Ray Lopez had a half tackle today.
Hey, shout out Roy Lopez, man, the unknown. But I'm not worried about this defensive line. I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I am.
Really? You're not really?
I'm not.
I am after today.
I'm not worried about the defensive line.
Talk to him, Justin.
Right, KG, dude.
Bro, I need to see way more examples of this before I'm ready to panic on the defensive line, bro.
I'm not ready to panic. Okay?
That's what it sounds like.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
Am I dumb as fuck?
Anson.
Like,
no,
Anson's
panicking, okay? I'm not panicking.
Oh, so what are you doing, Justin?
I think we don't have enough there.
KG, come on. Come on.
I don't think we have enough, brother. KG, I don't think we have enough. I'll tell you that straight up.
Okay, all right.
With Aleem McNeil, obviously this D-line gets better, but still, I don't think that they can manufacture enough pressure off the edge. I think you need a Robin to Hutchinson's Batman, and Davenport didn't show that today. He was good in the run game. I'll give him his credit.
And that's his MO.
That's his MO.
He's never had more than
rusher.
9 sacks. I think he had 6 or 7 his second best year.
James Houston has a higher sack season than
James Houston looked good the other night.
Now we going back to James Houston. Why did we keep him? All right, come on, go ahead.
I'm not saying we should have kept him. I'm just trying to give a reference point to Marcus Davenport as a player. He's not a pass rusher. He did good in his job. But that's what the beauty of having a second edge rusher behind Marcus Davenport is. During pass rushing downs, he can be the one playing. Oh my God, obvious passing situations like the multiple times we had the Packers in 3rd and 9, 3rd and 6, when they converted, those times where it would have helped to have a pass rushing specialist. Yeah, KG.
So where was it the 2 years after the 8 sacks in 9 games? Where was it the following 2 years after that?
I didn't say I wanted James Houston specifically. I'm just saying I'm giving you a reference point of a player who hit the mark, okay? Davenport has never hit the mark as a pass rusher. Straight up. That's a fact. We have
absolute fact.
We've had a sample size to prove that at this point. I question the second edge. And yes, I know what Hutch is, and I know Hutch will be there at some point this season. It might take longer than expected, but at some point, Aiden Hutchinson will be back being a dominant edge rusher. I don't have a worry about that. McNeil will come back, and he's going to have a period where he's going to have to adjust as well. He might not be up to speed. I don't think this D-line is ready, but at the same time, I do think if that's not good enough, Brad Holmes will make a move. He's proven that. He went for Zadarius Smith last year. He realized they needed an edge. I think there's going to be a point this season. He realizes that he needs an edge, and he's going to make that happen because there's going to be teams willing to give him an edge. Dolphins just signed Judon. He's not going to be playing there in November when the Dolphins are 2-10. Like, it's just how it is in the NFL. So I think he's going to make a move. I think there's options out there. I mean, the issue is Clowney's kind of the same guy who's the one notable free agent. He's a lot like Marcus Davenport. He's more of a run-stopping defensive end, not a pass rusher. We need a pass rusher. Derek Barnes could be a guy that steps up and helps in that pass rushing role, but I don't think that Derek Barnes is truly enough to get this pass rush to where it needs to be. And I do think that Brad Holmes will do something to shore up the pass rush. Because he has shown that he will be aggressive when he knows he needs something.
Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport, 2 tackles and 1 assist total. James Houston, 2 tackles through week 1.
Oh. You want him back?
I do. I do. I'd like somebody back. I wasn't the guy crying for an edge.
You want a one-dimensional guy back.
No, listen, you hearing Maz talking about let's trade for Trey Henderson, let's trade for Myles Garrett.
When are we as Lions fans going to realize there's nobody coming to save you?
Well, that's the deal. And so, like, Hassanein would have been really nice to see out there, see if he would have been able to get some production.
Agreed.
But, hey, when you see the Super Bowl champs sign Zadarius, a guy that's been living in Detroit since February, since January when our season was ended unceremoniously last year. And the Eagles just every year they seem to add these guys through trade, through free agent signing, through somebody threw them to the curb, and they just continuously add to their defense. And I have been the guy that's absolutely been against trade all your picks, do everything you can to bring in the big splash signing, to bring in the big trade.
Right.
But Zadarius should have fucking happened, KG, and we saw that on display today.
But once again, we don't know what the inner dealings of this thing
I think it was too much money. I think that's all it
was.
It
was too much money.
But it's 1 year.
All we can do is speculate about that. Like, for real, we don't know. But I'm not going to sit up here and act like...
There's been reports that it was triple the money.
Fair enough. All I'm saying is we're not going to sit up here and act like Brad doesn't try. Like, I'm not in that camp. So I'm focused on the guys that are here. You do need better performances from Davenport. Historically, he's not been great in the pass rush, but he does give you something. The Lions wouldn't have him on the other side of Hutch if he didn't give you anything. And he is somebody known, especially in the first couple games last year, I know it's small sample size, capable of collapsing pockets and helping Aiden Hutchinson on that other side. But you just need consistent play from him. And you did not get that tonight. But overall, going forward, I do think Brad, if he sees a deficiency there, he will make a move. And he's left his team in a good enough position to go out there and make a move with the draft picks, with freeing up the money. All the money y'all want to spend, guess what? If something happens at the trade deadline, he's going to be the first in line to make a call.
Mac T.
He makes calls.
Mac T, J-Mo, holy overpay. Based on the first games of results, was J-Mo overpaid last night?
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
You're not doing that, huh?
Dog. No.
You're not doing that? Well, let's look at this guy, though.
$22 million guaranteed is not
We talk about a contract that don't even kick in for another couple years, bro. Bush League, bro.
Hey, I believe...
Not you. I'm just talking about whoever chatted that.
I believe that Brad is...
What does that got to do with right now?
He's absolutely Houdini. But, hey, it's a legitimate question. This guy last year was feast or famine. He either absolutely impacted games or he disappeared.
We done got to something. All right, what's your true feelings on J-Mo at right now at this point today?
This morning when I found out about it, I was completely happy about it. And to be very honest with you, I'm still completely good with it. But the question begs to be asked. This guy didn't show up today, all right? And this guy gets a free pass in Detroit for years now, whether he is injured, whether he's in trouble, or whether he doesn't show up in a game. Everyone gets excited about the J-Mo games, but what? Is that 6-7 a year?
How he going to show up if Jared Goff can't get the ball to him?
Okay. Keep making excuses for him.
It ain't an excuse, it's the truth.
Hey, I would have signed him. I love what Brad is doing. He's staggering these deals so that none of the big payouts are on the same year. He'll continue to be able to re-sign and keep the great players that they draft. But this is a very legitimate question. This guy just got a $20+ million payday, and what did he do today?
For a contract that doesn't kick in once again for another couple years.
No.
I don't care.
He doesn't get to not show up until the money kicks in. He just got a commitment from this franchise in this city for $22 million. And then what the fuck did he come out and do? 4 for 23?
This leads me to believe
4 for 23?
This leads me to believe that you don't believe in J-Mo. So what type of season do you think he's going to have now that he's paid?
Oh, all the time you guys are saying he's $1,300. Pass me some of that Mad Packs because you're smoking on some good shit. He ain't getting 1,300 yards this year. I'll tell you that right now. You saw when we needed to make plays, the ball goes through Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And nobody said that it doesn't.
It goes straight through Egypt, all right?
Nobody said that it doesn't.
The fact is J-Mo is a feast or famine guy. When everything's going good and you're running 50 points up on Tennessee, yeah, my man's going to have 162, maybe 3 touchdowns. He might even have an end around. But when the going gets tough and the Lions get losing, where the fuck was he today?
I mean,
$22 million
I could go
for
back
4 catches.
I could go back as far as the NFC Championship game where he was your only fucking offense in that game. Like, come on, now. We're not doing this with J-Mo, dog.
How many other games that year was he making $22 million?
But what did he do last year?
How many games last year did he make $22 million?
I would say a lot of games last year.
All right,
he made
let's
that
take
money.
a look. Let's take a look. 2024.
You think Brad Holmes gonna pay a scrub receiver?
Week one. Week one. 120.
Bro.
We're getting into it. 121 yards. Week 1 touchdown. Awesome. 79 yards on 5. Okay, solid. 9 yards.
Okay, it's a 6, 7.
79 yards on 5 catches. No, wait a second. 79 yards on 5 catches is wide receiver 2, $12 million
79 yards on 5 catches when you have a plethora of weapons on this offense.
Bro, come on.
What the? Come on, no, we not doing this, Anson. We not, bro.
Oh, okay,
okay, all right.
Week 3.
I've heard it, big dog.
Week 3, 1 for 3, 9 yards.
All right.
Then 2 catches.
1 win in 3 weeks. There you
go. 2 catches for 80 yards. He got into the house.
Surely he's going to have a poor season after 1 week.
3 catches for 76 yards.
Wait, what did you say? 2 catches for what?
2 catches for 80 yards.
Oh, to the
got to the house.
All right.
Sure. 3 catches for 76.
Oh, okay.
Got to the house. Right. Next week versus Minnesota.
What's that yards per reception?
2-point win.
Right, hold on. We gonna kill him.
How about this one? 1 catch for negative 4 yards. All right, next week, 3 catches for 53 yards. Now you want to get excited about the Jacksonville 52-6 win. 4 catches for 124 yards. Now his next 4 weeks, he didn't get over 80 yards. 64, 28, 80, 37. Then you got the 143 big week. But then his last 2 weeks of the season, 5 for 77, 6 for 34. He had 1,000 yards on 58 catches. He is a big game threat. He can bust it all open. He makes your secondary be honest because of his speed. But hey, the chat asked a question. He just got paid $22 million. He went out there, laid an egg, and you did it based on 58 catches for 1,000 yards.
No, they did it based on the growth year to year to year. He came in the league scoring touchdowns. Anson, like how quickly we forget. In a 6-game sample size, he scored touchdowns in at least 3 of those games. And yes, he needed to mature. He had some things that he had to figure out. He got past that. He gave you a 1,000-yard season last year after putting up 300 the previous year. And like you said, he did it on 58 catches while being one of the most dynamic receivers in the NFL, one of the best skills in the NFL that every team needs in this speed. That's why they signed him, Anson. Not in these microcosm games that you're trying to portray like he's not worth the money.
17.3 yards per reception. That is utterly ridiculous.
It's unreal.
That is unheard of. And he put up 1,000 yards on 56 receptions. That is not to be heard of in this common NFL era, the way that he's able to change the game. And even in those games where he doesn't have stats, he's still affecting the game. He forces those safeties back.
Thank you.
He does what Tyreek Hill did in his Chiefs days.
Ding, ding, ding.
The allowing you to have lighter boxes to run is a strength. And in all the games that he had low yards are games that we dominantly ran the ball. And we didn't need Jameson Williams in those games. That's what the deal is.
And shout out Nick P. Anson completely ignoring how bad the O-line was. I can't get the ball to my star receiver if I'm under pressure constantly every single offensive drive.
Thanks for just showing up. We appreciate you in the chat. Smash that like button. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 2002, 16.4 yards per catch. Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Are you calling Jameson Williams
16.5 yards?
Valdez-Scantling?
Dude, what was Valdez-Scantling's highest receiving yard season? You better follow it with that. And it better be over 1,000.
Let's see, 690.
690.
It might as well be 6'7" at that point. Come on.
6'7". Let's see, what else has he got? I'm sure he's got a 700
we are
or
not
something.
Comparing
we're not even talking.
Well, no, he's hanging his hat on the fact that he averaged 17 yards per catch.
But 1,000 yards as well,
catches,
bro. 7 touchdowns, man. Come on.
Catches on 50. It's
bro,
so
you're
funny.
Saying that you're wide receiver.
Let him get his shit off, bro. Let him have it.
You guys can all be
ISO, bro.
Up in arms and worried and spooked over every other aspect of this team, whether it's on defense or offense, but no one can talk about J-Mo. All right?
You're right.
Listen, Jameson Williams, what did he average? 5.8 per catch today, and he's a $22 million man.
All right. What did the rest of the receivers do since J-Mo was so bad? Tell me what the rest of the
Laporta,
receivers did.
13.2. Amon-Ra, 11.3.
What? No, what's the yards look like?
13.0.
Don't skip past the yards.
He's fourth on the team with 23.
I didn't ask you that. Big dog, I didn't ask you that. I asked you to read me the stats of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Isaac
you said how many
and Sam Laporta.
No, you
Give
asked
me the
me how
yardage
much.
and the touchdown.
Do you need the receipt? Because you asked me how many yards he had. And I told you, 23, which is fourth on the team. Laporta, 79. Amon-Ra, 43. Gibbs, 31. Jameson, 23.
So that tells me that nobody in particular had a great game. Of course,
nobody had a great game.
And why is that,
well, I don't know. When you pay a guy $22 million, you'd expect him to show up.
So what about Amon-Ra St. Brown, man? Because
is he a scrub now?
Yeah.
I mean, Amon-Ra.
Is he worth the money? Is he worth $30 million per?
Well, let me ask you this. should they have thrown the ball more than 6 times to Amon-Ra instead of 5 times to Jameson?
They should have thrown the ball more, period, but he couldn't because he was under fucking duress.
Yes, thank you, KG.
What the fuck are we talking about?
Well, you know what? Let's be honest here. He threw the ball 17 more times than Jordan Love, and he was 31 of 39. Okay? He took 4 sacks, but he only missed 8 passes.
Well, people weren't dropping passes, so
okay, you guys got an excuse to every single thing I bring up. The fact of the matter is you guys defend J-Mo for a couple of years now.
Why are you singling out J-Mo?
Because the chat brought him up. All right.
Okay.
The chat brought him up, and it's a very fair question.
For the loss.
It's a very fair question to ask right now.
You're blaming him for the loss.
No, I'm not. I am saying the guy that we woke up to the news yesterday. If you did, or this morning, if you didn't see it Saturday night, you woke up to the news that the newest $22 million man on the Lions roster is one J-Mo, and
so he
didn't do shit today.
Are you mad at the Kirby contract then? He didn't do shit today.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Are you mad about it?
Not at all.
No,
you're not at all. Okay.
Not a wink of fucking sleep.
So who's going to fucking earn their paycheck next week?
I think everybody's going to earn their shit.
All are going to earn their paycheck.
We're talking about
Pro Bowl caliber. Let's set the bar, gentlemen. Let's set the bar. How many catches and how many yards for J-Mo for us not to say, okay, you didn't earn your paycheck week 2 weeks in a row. And the same thing for Kirby. What does Kirby have to do?
It's a team sport. I don't need
so a W and it's all good.
I don't go
W, it's all good.
I feel you.
Everyone
will
will get their paycheck at the end of the season if they're going to get it anyway, but they're going to earn it over the course of the season. Everyone's going to make a certain play at a certain moment that's going to excel this team to get to victory. That's how football works. It's a team sport. Not every single person is going to affect winning on every single week. That's just how it is. And I expect every single person on this team at one point to make a game-changing play. That's how the Lions work because we have elite playmakers.
Okay, I got a question for you. When you guys all set your pie-in-the-sky projections for one Jameson Williams, did you expect him to have complete duds like today?
Yeah, because
did.
Yeah, because the season doesn't end in week fucking 1.
Well, no. What I'm saying, okay,
I go off the collective of stats.
All right,
I don't
KG,
go week to week
KG,
like you.
Let me ask you
I
this.
go off the collective, and the collective says that he's a 1,000-yard receiver, and he's going to be one again.
The collective says we're 0-1.
Okay, so the season ends today, is what you're saying.
And he is on pace right now for what is that? 320 yards. Okay, so he's on pace for 320 yards. So what are you telling me? How many more weeks like this week can he have where you still say that falls under the umbrella of being a $22 million man?
I'm answering your question with a question. Do you think he eclipses what he's on pace to do right now for the season?
Well, of course. But
does he?
No. My question to you absolutely gives me that answer.
He's on pace for 320.
Yeah, and he's going to be better. Bro. He's going to be better. But my question for you both is, how many more games like this does he get? How many more weeks does he get like this? 6? Because he had 7 last week. Last year he had 7 garbage throwaway games. Probably more.
And that's fine.
So how many does $22 million J-Mo get
that
this
he
year?
had? He can, as long as the stat line looks like it looked last year or better, I have no problems with J-Mo.
Exactly.
That's my answer.
100%.
No.
Completely agree.
I don't go week to week. I'm not pulling out, in a game where your whole fucking team was bad, we're going to single out J-Mo, the receiver that couldn't get the ball from his quarterback. I'm going to single out him.
Listen, I am responsible to my chat. And the chat asked me a question.
And that's fine.
I brought it up.
It somewhere totally different.
No, not at all. Not at all. He said, is he overpaid? And I'm asking you a question that has you two completely up in arms.
Do you know what the wide receiver market is right now?
He's
not overpaid.
Okay, you sure?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Would you
sure?
take Chris Godwin or him in this offense?
Chris Godwin. A healthy Chris Godwin?
No, Chris Godwin or J-Mo. I don't care about that.
No caveats. Chris Godwin or
J-Mo.
Well, I think the problem...
that's how much Chris Godwin gets paid.
Okay, so let's talk T. Higgins.
Okay. Talk T. Higgins.
Who would you rather have, T. Higgins or J-Mo? Oh, the pause is an indictment.
No, I'd have J-Mo.
It took you a while.
Better for this offense.
Took you a while. Let's look at J-Mo's last year, okay? 1 week, only 34 yards. 1 week,
I want
37.
you to go through everybody's
1 week,
stats from last year, game by game.
1 week,
That's
-4. 1 week, 9. That's 5 games where he had less than 35 yards.
Ooh, take his money away.
No. What I'm saying, though, is this.
And how many games do they win in those games?
I'm putting you guys on. You guys want to get upset about J-Mo.
You want to defend. Y'all, that's him.
You want to defend your J-Mo.
To answer the question that I just asked you, it's 1. They lost 1 of those games. I just want to get my point.
How many games are you comfortable with him having less than 40 yards now that he makes $22 million and he's not going to be on he's not on a rookie deal?
However many games it takes to get him to the stat line that he had last year or better.
Apparently, we can win 4 out of 5 games that Jameson Williams proceeds to go under, what'd you say, 35 yards or 40 yards?
We're 0-1 this year.
All right, well,
we're 0-1 this year.
Right, that's still 4 and 6. 4 out of 6. Oh, my God. I'm so scared of being 4-2 when Jameson Williams goes under 35 yards. I'm not. That's a great percentage, and I'm willing to roll the dice. Jameson Williams will be utilized when he needs to be utilized. That's how this offense has worked over the last couple of years, and that's how it will continue to operate.
I truly hope that you guys are both very correct, but it's a spirited debate off of a great question from somebody in the chat. Tony Williams, Jared Goff. Come on, guys. Jared Goff. Too soon?
Yeah.
Shout out Tony Williams. Rando Smalls, watching the kid from Oklahoma, and with Goff's great running abilities, I believe there's sarcasm there.
Clearly.
Should we prioritize drafting Goff's replacement?
I'm not doing that either. I don't care about the draft right now.
It turned out well with Hendon Hooker.
I don't care about Jared Goff is going to be your quarterback, people. It don't matter what you say or, what if they draft a quarterback? Jared Goff is going to be the starting quarterback at least until his contract is up with the Detroit Lions. I don't want to hear that, bro. I don't care about who you draft.
31 of 39 in this game, as much as you'd love to blame the white guy under center. Aside from the one pick, he wasn't terrible. Lots of pressure. 25 lost yards on 4 sacks. He was hurried and pressured. I wonder how many actual hurries they had.
Yeah, let's see.
QB hits, he took 9. 9 QB hits.
I mean, he was fighting for his life all day, like the R. Kelly. I'm fighting for my fucking life.
You know how many hits?
Literally.
We had 9 pressures. We had 2 quarterback hits.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't get a pass rush. But Jared Goff, I'm not worried about Jared Goff like in the slightest. He's going to have better games than this, but his offensive line has to help him out. And also, conversely, once you get that O-line going, the run game has to be the run game that we all have come to know and trust of this Lions team. So I think they'll have better days, and that'll set up Jared Goff to be better. But as of right now, they did not have a good game, but mostly it's because he was pressured up the middle all damn day.
All right.
All day.
All right. Well, we've just hit hour number 2, so I am going to get through these Super Chats. Then I'm going to hold these gentlemen to an actual score prediction. I know they kind of flirted with one, but we're going to put it in stone.
Yeah, let's put it in stone.
And we'll revisit next week. If you want to Super Chat your score prediction, we will read it out loud. Feel free to answer in the chat what you think it will be next week. Hey, we need 22 more likes. Can you smash that like button for us,
Might as
chat?
well, bro. You've been here all this time.
There you go. Randall Smalls, who else thinks they could have called a better game? I'm not even going to answer that because, yeah.
I just think much like the playoff game last year, you picked a bad day to have a bad day. And
I like that.
I would just – that's what I look at this game as, because we know this team is capable of more. It's not like we haven't seen it. Once again, they're battle-tested. We know what this team is capable of. I don't expect them to have another dud like this all season long, let alone next week.
Yeah, Sergeant Curtis Schultz, Star Wars, talking about the J-Mo. He says, let's talk about your paycheck. Laugh out loud. All right, before I get to this last Super Chat, KG or until a blunt side hit, Randall Smalls says, got a few more minutes to get your Super Chats in. Please smash that like button. Let me ask you both this question, guys. Would you rather the Lions have won this game and lost at home next week to Chicago? Your choice is only one. They're 1-1, but you get to choose which game they would have won. Personally, I would have taken the Chicago game. Like I told you last week, they'd lose this game. They'd take it as absolute poison to their soul, and they'd come out firing pissed. Piss and fire. And they'll be back here next week, absolutely handling business. I'd much rather them win game 2 at home, going out to Baltimore after that, than having won this first week and then limping out of Ford Field, losing to Catfish Caleb and Osama Ben Johnson. Where are you at?
Nah, this week easily.
You'd rather lose this week?
Yeah, and it's seeing that they lost in the fashion that they did, that gives you a lot to go back to the drawing board and figure out. Like, it can't get no worse than what it got today. And I think that's the outlier in all this. It can't get no worse than what it got today. So there's only up from here, and this team is going to go out there. They're going to be able to prove that. I don't think you want to drop that week 2 to Ben Johnson coming back to Ford Field.
No.
Because that'll just add fuel to the fan base fire of, Ben Johnson was the brains behind the operation. Jared Goff is worthless. All the cliches that we get. Being Lions fans. But, you need to lose this game. That way you can better rebound for weeks to come. But, yeah, it's not going to get any worse than it got.
Justin, week 3, your Lions team is 1-1. Where do you want that win at? Week 1
week
in
2.
Green Bay?
No,
okay.
week 2.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Fine.
No doubt.
There you go. I had a real good final question here, and it escaped me, but it came right back. Final question. Chad, I want to hear from you as well. Worse to lose to at home, Matt Stafford or Osama Ben Johnson? Which game do you want more?
Oh, you talking about for this season?
I'm just saying in general. Like, obviously we beat Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
But if Matt Stafford was coming here for the first time after we traded him, playoff game, whatever, Chicago Bears are headed back here, playoff game, which one do you feel a bigger need to beat? Ben Johnson
obviously,
or Matt
If it's a
Stafford?
playoff,
go ahead.
If it's a playoff game, it doesn't matter. We have to win regardless.
Right.
It's inexcusable if we
No.
lose.
Okay, who do you want to lose
can't-
to less in a playoff game?
Neither.
Ben Johnson?
I don't want to lose in a playoff game. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's Matt Stafford for me.
All right.
I want to beat Matt
Great.
Stafford worse than I want to beat Ben Johnson.
Why though? We've done that. Like that.
I don't want to lose in the playoffs at all.
To me, that this Matt Stafford narrative
listen,
too, at this point.
Point out the obvious,
he's
Justin.
been
None of
gone.
us wants to lose in the postseason. This is a hypothetical question.
I mean,
who do you want to lose to less? Matt Stafford or Ben Johnson? Playoff game, Super Bowl, regular season, who would piss you off more to come to our house and take a game from us?
I mean,
because neither one has done it yet.
Right. It would be Ben Johnson and the Bears. One, because it's a division game. Two, because it is Ben Johnson. He has so much familiarity with this team. But this Matt Stafford fucking narrative is dead. He's been gone since, 2020? 2021? Like, he's been gone. Like, we already played him in the playoffs and won. We've already played him in the season and won. We're gonna go back to LA. Ooh, Matt Stafford. I'm done with the Matt Stafford narrative. He's gone. It's over. Jared Goff's the quarterback now. We've proven all we can prove against Stafford. And listen, Stafford went out and got a Super Bowl. I'm worried about what the hell my team is gonna do. Like, I'm sick of the Stafford narrative. That shit is dead at this point.
I see most people in here saying Ben Johnson right now. Bro, Stafford won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Stafford has a Super Bowl. Lions do not. Stafford will
moved
haunt
on
you
with his
forever.
life.
Brad is a clown.
Stafford don't
Bears
think about
are
us.
definitely going to cream pie us in our orifice.
Oh,
says
okay.
Kendall
All right, watch
Hughes.
out now. Watch out now.
Mr. Johnson
I
says
ain't
Gary
getting creeped by
McCormick.
nobody.
Stafford has a ring. Lions never will. Brando Smalls to Anson, to be honest, Mahomes.
But it's some of the haters'
Matt
point.
Stafford. I gotta
Matt
be honest
Stafford
with you.
don't think about us.
This is a fun question because, like, you guys didn't even want to answer it. They're super divided and they're pissed off. One guy's calling me stupid for even asking it. And you know what? When you get called stupid for being an ask it, when everybody's divided,
I'll say that.
It's a good question because honestly, those are the two guys that I don't ever fucking want to lose a game to. Period.
I don't care.
Listen, the Jets can come in here and they can beat us. I'll be all right with AG beating us, not Ben Johnson.
Well, like I said, Ben Johnson, of course, because he's on the Bears now. That's a division opponent. They are directly in front of your goals to getting to a Super Bowl. But the Rams, like, I don't care. Like, I just really don't care. Matt Stafford don't think about us. Yeah, but that was 2 years ago when it was fresh.
It
was fresh. And the first time we saw him was in a playoff situation.
So which one did you want more when it was fresh? that obviously that was a playoff game, so it's not really a fair question.
Like, because I don't count the first year because I mean, the team wasn't even what the team was, but we beat them when it mattered the most, and that was in the playoffs. That narrative died that day for me. Like, it was cool to play them the next year, you know, Monday Night Football, prime time, Sunday night, whatever it was, but you played them in prime time. Ooh, okay. But I don't care about Matt. He doesn't think about us. I'm not thinking about him.
Recency bias is playing true. The majority of the people in the chat are saying Ben Johnson. And, guys, we'll be back here in a week to discuss it. Join the pre-game crew at Second Best next week. If you're coming down for the game, you start your Sunday in Detroit at Second Best Bar. Link up with us from Woodward Sports, and then, of course, later on for that watch party and post-game show, we'll be right down the street at Gillies. But we have a huge amount of love for the staff here today at Second Best. They treat us amazing all the time. Shout out to the bartender there, who was super attentive today. Again, we'll be back here next week, so make sure you join us. We'll have plenty Sun Cruiser on hand. Honestly, I heard these guys pumping it up for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I had to try it. It's dangerous.
Hey, we got one.
We
got one, Coach.
It tastes like lemonade.
No, I mean, shout out to Woodward Sports and the sales team, my boy Brendan over there.
Crushing it.
Like, we always bring in great drink sponsors every single year. But Sun Cruiser, I mean, it's a little different aura with Sun Cruiser, man. Like, I'm absolutely loving the Sun Cruiser. Ever since Neil Rule put me on, and we know Neil don't lie about
No, he doesn't
drinking.
mess with his pops.
If Neil stamps the approval on the alcoholic beverage, you know I got to try it. And shout out to Sun Cruiser, bro. Y'all, look, verified, bro. Verified.
No doubt about it. I'd love to catch up more with this chat here. There's some wild stuff. We'll hold it until next week. We thank you for joining us. All phases.
Yeah.
Lions weekly update, Lions pregame, Lions watch party, Lions postgame. KG and I will be back next week with our guy, Justin. No cheese, we promise. As we go and we get a
put
W.
A bear costume on there.
Honestly, the postgame is going to be hype because all the people from the Lions victory will be filtering into Second Best and Gillies, so make sure you guys come out and join us. On behalf of Justin, KG, myself, thank you so much. Let's get 1-1 next week. Enjoy your evening. Get home safe. Much love.
Go fuck yourself, Green Bay.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the